So welcome, everyone. So we already did the recap. If you want the recap, just actually watch the last session. It's on YouTube. Check it out. Uh, so that being said, oh, why? Where's the bit rate? Where is everything? I hit start, did I not? Um, yeah. Maybe I just need to refresh the stream manager. Um, all right, it's a little weird. Oh yeah, I just need to refresh the stream manager. All right, sure. Uh, all right. Welcome. When we last left off, the players know where we last left off, so that's what matters. All right. But what is important to establish is while we did do the memory saves already, you did in fact get a long rest. The night is uneventful. Uh, Neither Terra nor because I believe Severance. Yeah, you're sleeping right there. Neither Terra nor Severance notice anything. The lights stay lit. Nothing seems to occur. Uh, Severance, because you are just kind of in sleep mode, pun intended. You're still able to detect things that are going on and such. But go ahead and give me a perception roll really quick. Oh, am I lagging? Uh-oh.
Not to me.
Not to me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just like, uh, so sorry. Did Severance already roll, and is it just not showing up?
Nope, it hasn't changed on my end.
Uh, Severance. All right. Guess he is very much in sleep mode. Um, I'll just send. Uh, oh, I have to remember. It's. There we go. I'm pretty sure this. Because, yeah, Severance is frozen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, it's hard for me to get used to online names. Okay, so I'll just. All right. Well, we'll address that later. Uh, so with that, long rest occurs. Although, was it frozen or was it oh,
I
interesting.
just needed to do my rolling a 1d100 so I
Ah,
could see how it's gonna go today.
gotcha. Whoa, what is all this stuff? Huh.
What did you find?
Sorry, I found things that are on Twitch, or sorry, on Discord that I was like, wait, what's this? Sorry. Anyway, and I was so confused. Like I was like, enamored. I don't mess around
All
with
right,
options.
and John did say he was in the zone today, and he completely forgot. So he's gonna be sitting it out since he's making some music right now.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with that. Don't want to interrupt
nothing
the
back
process.
from Pickles though.
Well, my guess is I have a sinking suspicion that Pickles probably won't make it if John and if there isn't at least John or Mickey is my guess, which nothing wrong with that.
Very possibly.
But and that being said, we shall push on. Where'd the train of thought go? Oh, there it is. Found it. So with that do you need to do any more test rolls of the D100 before I don't know if you were able to catch it or not. I just wanted a quick perception roll when you're ready. For Severance.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, 12. That is lower than your passive, so that's a rough go at it. So yeah, all right. No extra details. That's just, there are But it is an uneventful night, which that is all good for all as they get a long rest. Now, before we started the stream, I believe someone was discussing wanting to investigate outside the cave. Is that correct?
Hmm?
I think it was more of a history check to see if they could figure something out, but I don't remember if that was Severance or Haka.
I think it was more so probably insight as well.
Okay.
I don't know who asked for it though.
For any role.
I scrolled up and there's history checks. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
what.
No,
was
those
For
are all
the mem
separate.
safe.
Yeah. Well,
uh,
regardless. All right. If we don't remember who it is, we'll just kind of move on. So that being said, we will So everyone wakes up, and really quick too, for my own sanity, I'm gonna lump all the people who aren't able to make it in one area, so I can. Y'all are gonna go right over here, so I can keep track of who I need to keep track of. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there's Kitty. Hello. I was like, wait a minute, where's Kitty? There he is. And then, and there's where did Timmel? Oh, Timmel has his dragon on top of him. That's why I can't see. All right. So you three. Oh, pulled apart the dragon. That's a shame.
Ooh.
There we go. Just gonna go right there. That's really nice. Who drew that? Sorry. Anyway, moving on. So with everyone waking up, the GGG, the triple G, if you will, they're all starting to pack up as it was established that they would be traveling along with you. They were also hoping if you could buy a cart in town for them. You have the goldenrod as well. What are you guys doing?
So I believe that I, right before we went to sleep, brought over one of the statues. So it should be near myself and Severance down at this little bonfire.
Okay, brought it over there. Let me bring it over to you.
So if I could get Glorb's help, and obviously he's not, Mickey's not here, but I assume Glorb would probably be willing to help with this, is if I could try to lift both the statue and the half-orc onto my floating disc spell.
Oh, that's right. You did floating disc. And that's, I think, what this was. I think this was a floating disc. It could have very well
Was that
been
what it was?
It could have been a representation of a statue or a floating disc. But yeah, so let's see if he's able to strength.
I think we'll try to put that half-orc on first, and then see if there's room for a statue.
Right. So strength check. What do you roll?
That was stealth.
That
Oh,
was
stealth.
stealth. All right. Oh, and you know what? I need to roll as him. Hold on. Let me. Let me just add an extra step to the process, shall we?
If anybody who's not a fairy wants to try to help him, I assume my help isn't
I'll
going to be
help.
very.
I can get Tara to help.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, just anybody who's available to help in the morning. I guess we're all getting up, and there's nothing, as we're all getting up and going about our morning business, there's nothing suspicious around. I guess we should have asked that first.
Yeah, so...
Is it a strength check?
Oh, Glorb with a 24 is able to lift him up, not too bad.
Oh yeah.
And it
So we
does...
now have a...
There we go. Okay.
I guess I should point out, I can only hold 500 pounds. I assume half of a half-orc isn't that heavy. He's probably, what, 150 at halved up?
Yeah. Half.
Okay, so...
Yeah, half is probably about 150.
Okay, so and it will follow me by 20 feet and can go over any terrain difference of, I believe, elevation of 10 feet or more. So it'll just be a floating disc that follows me for an hour.
All right.
And then I'll have to recast it. It is a ritual spell.
Yep, but it's ritual. And then ritual is about 10 minutes, if I recall correctly.
Yes, it is. It is 10 minutes.
And
on top of the one action, yeah.
Yep. Which, I mean, action's just 6 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. What was I doing again? Yeah, I'm tagging on the putting the dot on. What shall I use? Where's my little wheelie boy? Where's a wheel? Oh, this also works. All right. I like this one better though. All right. Yeah, that works. All right. And then so you're bringing the statue. You go outside. Let's see. Does anything?
Yeah, we send one of the goblins out first, right? Unless anybody's brave enough to. How's the light look?
Yeah,
Is it morning? Is it bright outside?
Yeah. So you are able to see sunlight from the cave entrance.
I might not be able to, but our other
Yeah.
compatriots can.
Yeah. Those with passive perception above 10 are able to see, yep, sure enough, there is light coming in from outside, so it does seem to be light out.
And does that strength check or athletics check also get the statue up, or does he have to make a separate check to do that safely?
Oh, nah.
Well, I guess you
just
rolled
tied the
twice
two
anyway.
together. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the second one I technically made for him pulling the half-orc through the tight space. But,
Oh, I see. Okay.
At the same time, it's like, in the same ocean, could have pulled him through, put him on. Yeah, it's fine. And also, too, this could just be one of those things where they just keep trying to lift him up until it works, kind of thing. We got a whole bunch of gobos here. Worst case scenario, they could try to do a teamwork effort. I mean, shoot, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, through sheer numbers, eventually you're gonna roll above like a 15 and then with a modifier, or if it's a negative modifier, eventually you're gonna run like 18. Regardless. So yeah, no, they're up.
Can we like round them all up to meet us at the entrance?
Gotcha. They'll and yeah, so Lil Stump will be like, we will meet you at the area near the and oh wait, sorry, are we meeting you at the cave or on the road by the city?
I think our best bet for you guys would be to meet us outside the city, but far away enough so that the people won't get suspicious or scared of you guys.
I think the plan is for all of us to travel together and to leave you outside the city far enough not to be harassed by the citizens,
Yes.
as Avalon astutely presented.
Yes.
Okay. As he gives a little feathered thumbs up.
Okay.
And
do you guys have all your stuff together so we can start heading out soon?
And the gobos swarm around you. I'm not moving them on the map, but they do swarm up around. And here, actually, I can start fixing that on the map. They are having all their tents gathered together and such, and they are kind of starting to form up with all their stuff in tow. And they're like, "Yes, we are ready. We're ready to go."
Okay.
Right, so we've got one statue. Yeah, we're gonna do a attendance check.
Right.
We've got all of our teammates. Everybody's cognizant. Nobody seems poisoned. Anything like that. Nobody's possessed.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay, yeah, I'm the one to be doing this. Okay, let's see. -4, -4, -4.
I mean, everyone seems to be okay.
Okay. Oh, right. I did. So there were two things that I was going to do last night, but we were ending pretty quickly. So I
Yes.
did roll for surgeon's tools. If you roll up, or if you scroll up, because you did say that we had enough time. It's sort of offhandedly, you said we had enough time to research the blood a bit more. So I didn't know if the percentage went up because we didn't address
Oh.
that because we were closing up pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, it should have gone up by 15.
Okay, so I'll do that. And then I also wanted to cast Detect Thoughts just to make sure we're not being reverse scammed by the goblins.
Did we get
Yep.
the money
And
from
so,
beforehand?
well, actually, I don't know if I want to do that this morning now since I was going to do it before the long rest, but
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. We could. It was something that
Mm.
was discussed at the end of last session because you had actually mentioned. I thought you actually already did go around checking their minds.
we didn't get a response
think
on
you
if anything happened. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
you
I missed
said
it.
that
Maybe
you
I missed
did that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's for pretty much all of them are head empty. And with the exception of I don't know if you specifically if you specified for
I was gonna go to as many as I could, every single one,
gotcha. So for
every
Little
single
Stump,
individual present.
uh Little Stump is very much just he's very hyped to be alpha. Um he's like, I'm going to be so alpha. It's going to be great. It's that's true. You're in his head, so you can actually hear how he normally sounds. So he's like, I'm going to be so alpha. It's going to be amazing. I'm so happy. Hooray. All my little goblin minions are going to have so much respect for me after this. It's going to be fantastic.
I know what his custom package is going to be. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm gonna try to teach him the minor illusion spell so he can talk through the spell. Because I want him to be able to sound posh and fancy. Anyway, we'll get to that on the road. Okay, so that was my things from last night wrapped up.
Yep. So that's
if
what you
anybody
were
else
also
had anything
doing.
they were doing.
Yeah, that retroactive. All right. Remember the time? All right, and now we're back. Flashback over. And so yes, with that in mind, stuff is packed up. Are you guys heading out then, or is there anything else anyone would like to do before heading out?
I don't have anything else.
All right.
If no one has anything for me, I'm gonna start heading out.
And then, Kitty.
Oh, is the tripwire been taken down?
It's magical. It doesn't
Yeah.
actually trip.
Yeah, no, it's just goes off if someone goes. I mean, I think it's only lasts 8 hours anyway.
I believe it does.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
slept
I
through
no
it.
longer have mage armor up.
Yeah, it lasts 8 hours.
Yep. And then, Kitty, I don't think I've heard anything from you. Is there anything you wanted to do or no?
No, I'm just kind of going along with the pack.
Gotcha. Okay, no
Joining the
worries. Just wanted to
caravan.
confirm. All right. And with that, so as you head out, and Severance, you have a what's your passive perception again?
16.
Gotcha. So with the 16, okay. You do notice there seems to be, like, some of the area seems to be disturbed, but the area does still seem to be fairly quiet as it was when you first arrived. And with that, you guys head out. And is he on the road? Let me check something. Because it's... Sorry, I just have to... I'll send you guys to Harbor Town while I do this real quick. So you'll be in Harbor Town. I might pull you out of Harbor Town. Let me just check something. So it's...
Oh yeah, what are the monkeys called? Still there at the campsite?
Oh no, yeah, they're gone.
Okay.
Because the creatures he summons are gone after a certain amount of time. Oh yeah, that's just how.
I think it's 1 full day.
Okay.
Or is it just to the next sunrise?
Okay.
7's good, right? We're not gonna die, right?
We just left like animals at the campsite with no one there to watch them anymore.
That's fine. Everybody loves when you leave your dog unattended, off a leash, not fenced in. I heard that's a really good thing to do. I heard postmen and delivery drivers love it the most.
Yeah, yeah. Thank your local postman by giving him an option to involuntarily pet your dog. All right. So, as you head down the road, oops, this isn't the map I'm looking towards. It's fairly uneventful. As road seems fairly empty, and you do get. I forgot how much was drawn on this map. Just the mayor chroma throws me off every time. It's like, hello, it's like a little gingerbread man. So you guys get to town, and Monkey gone. And
So, along the way, did we find a safe place to leave the goblins that would be
Oh.
out of sight, but not in the forest?
yeah, so they all just decide to kind of hang out in the tunnel.
Ah, good.
Okay.
So it's still a little ways outside of town, but like they could go inside the town, or you could go through the tunnels to meet them if you want. Or the tunnels are by the road, so they could also just, as you're heading through, they could poke their heads out, see you coming, and then join up.
Right. Could if we're gonna take them through the tunnels, could I investigate to make sure the tunnel isn't used super frequently, so that they're not gonna get caught in the couple hours we probably spend in town, or however long we do spend? Or do you already know that?
I think the tunnel was hidden under some dirt, wasn't it?
Yeah,
When we first found it?
so you do recall it was not just hidden under dirt, but it was actually hidden under like turf. Like there was actual like a section of grass that had been grown on top of this to try to fit in with the rest of the area. And the way that your camp is set up, I think you camped near. No, you didn't camp near that spot itself. You were potentially going to camp there, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I'm not as confident on that.
I don't think we set up our
I
tent
don't-
at all.
Wait, I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, Haga did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because I was expecting that we were gonna come back here,
Mhm.
Right.
and then we ended up sleeping at the cave.
Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to remember, Hawk. Do you remember if you set up the tents and like the little mini campsite? I don't think you set it up by the actual trapdoor,
I
but I
don't
could
remember. I remember like seeing it and just like offhandedly mentioning that that grass looked a little bit weird,
be wrong. Mm-hmm.
and then while I was just looking for a good place to set us up, I don't remember if I set it up right next to it or not, though.
Yeah, I don't think you did. But regardless, it was still well hidden. And you would know just from your experience. Now, mind you, if you want, you could roll an investigation regardless, just because it's not a bad thing to check into. So you go ahead and Needles give me an investigation roll. So with the 15, as you're thinking on it, it's like if anyone who wasn't a goblin knew about this tunnel, the goblin stealing shit probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it got to.
So the goblins are familiar with it, but the townspeople probably aren't, is the assumption.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna try. Oh, this is actually a good idea potentially, because Glorb's not here with us today. So I would like to try to convince Glorb to stay with the goblins and to get them on a workout program.
Oh, actually,
And
yeah,
start
good
training
thing
them up.
too.
Yeah, Glorb and Timmel will go ahead and they'll focus on getting them in a workout routine. Enki will stay behind to prank them unless he specifies he would have wanted to try to do something else. So he'll just be like messing with them while they're trying to get their workout in, whereas Timmel and Glorb will be trying to work them out. So we'll have them just kind of over here.
So while we're here in the campsite, I'm actually just gonna pack up my tent, pretty much. First things first.
Hmm.
Since I doubt we'll be staying here, I think we plan on hitting the road as soon as possible.
Well,
There was the fishing competition though, wasn't there?
yes, because
I
we're
don't
in
know if
charge
we were
of
gonna
that.
stay to actually run that though. I don't know if we discussed staying to run that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going
We
to,
just
but
we discussed it as a possibility,
yeah.
but I don't know if we ever actually agreed to stay here and do that.
Personally, I think that Christopher Dawkins was making up the whole Moldy Goldie story, so I don't think it's worth trying to fish for Moldy Goldie, but that's just my opinion.
Well, we do need to give him back his rod.
Yeah,
Before we
we'll give him
leave.
his
We
rod.
don't need to. Do we trust Christopher Dawkins? I feel like he was trying to deceive us and keep us busy from the searching for the prince.
He's all right, Niels. He'd be fine. He's fine.
Those of you
He
might not remember,
seems
Needles
nice
rolled a nat
enough.
1 on an insight on him.
Yeah.
Yes, I did remember all this time later.
Yes.
A month and a half or so later.
I
He's
just think
nice
it was
enough.
worth calling out the appreciation for that.
Look, Needles. I'll bring him his rod myself.
So I have this great idea of how we can both continue with our journey while also having the fishing competition take place. Me and Avalon bring in Christopher Dawkins to the committee that's running the fishing tournament, and then once Christopher Dawkins is part of that committee, we resign from the committee and leave it all to Christopher Dawkins.
Hmm.
And that way he can basically give himself as much time as possible to catch this moldy Goldie if it exists.
That is true.
I will say the rod is magical, and now I'm not one for thieving, but we did obtain the rod for ourselves. I feel like perhaps investigating it first rather than giving it back immediately might be worthwhile.
We have to get it from Enki himself. I don't know if he's going to let us take it from him.
Oh, Anki has it.
Yeah.
Anki, for plot reasons, gave it to whoever rolls highest in persuasion. Those who are here, roll persuasion. I don't know why I would have to say those who are here. How are you going to roll for persuasion if you're not here? I'm sorry. Anyway.
Second lowest.
And then, all right. Hawk, you're the one who has it.
Okay.
All right, continuing.
So, Hawkeye, you probably should investigate the rod and see what we can get from it before we hand it back to Christopher Dawkins.
I believe Enki did investigate, and his results was that it was just really good at catching fish, and potentially, I believe there was a hint at a higher chance of catching Moldy Goldie.
Mm-hmm.
That was Enki's conclusion. I don't know if he communicated that to us, though.
I don't think he did, and I'm not sure
No.
what the role was, though, either. I need to double check. But
What
you
role
guys
would
keep
I
thinking on it
use?
while I go back and scan through the history here.
I think it was Arcana last time.
Yeah, it would have been Arcana, but I'm trying to look for it. I don't see it. It might be too far back.
It's, as a DM, I might still have access to it. Let me
Oh,
check.
Enki Flamel, Arcana, 18 plus 2.
Oh, it was a dirty 20, not a nat 20. Okay, cool. All right, sorry. Yeah, continue. And he knows it's magical. But I don't know if he... That's a good point, though. I'm not sure if he told the party that.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Because I think he was going to the entrance when it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
No, he was
Needles
hiding.
would know it was magical because of the detect magic vision. or
Yeah,
whatever.
I know.
Oh,
I know
right.
for a fact it was magical and specifically stated it. I told you that the rod
Yeah.
and the crossbow were magical, is I believe what I told everybody.
Yes.
Just so we knew that our goblins had some little magical trinkets that we might want to borrow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, 8 for Arcana on investigating it.
If you
Yeah.
allow me.
Yeah. So Hawk, you look at it and you're like,
I will let Needles examine it as well.
yeah. So Needles, go ahead.
Liar. I'm still not as high as Enki.
You know, it has, yeah, it's magical. But you know, in terms of specific enchantment, hard to say.
So, friends, I do have access to a spell that would allow me to gain more information, but I do need a pearl worth at least 100 gold, and I'm a little bit lacking in funds.
Did
Nobody
we?
happens to have a pearl, do they?
I don't think so. I
I don't
don't.
think any of us have that.
I
Maybe
mean-
the goblins did, but
Yeah, because they were going to give us some stuff. I know they were going to give us gold right away, but they're going to give us the gold during their package stuff.
We're still right next to the entrance to the tunnel, right? So we could go back in and ask a couple questions.
Yeah, you could just jump back in the tunnel, run back over. And in theory, this could be a conversation that you guys were having as you were like heading here, because there is quite a distance that you would have had to walk to
Right.
get here. So I think
How many?
it's
Yeah, how many hours would have passed?
so specifically. Let me just double check. So you guys are traveling 30 feet. I remember we did the math on this. Well, I actually have a thing that just straight up tells me. So you're traveling at a normal pace. So that's 3 miles an hour. So how many miles are we here? That's all. I don't like that you are the first one I see. I want you to be the first because you're. All right, there we go.
I think you said it was something like 3 or 4 hours.
This is like a certain amount of miles, like 6
it's-
miles.
Yeah, it was like about 18-ish miles total. I thought this must be inaccurate.
But you also said like taking the tunnel would be less amount of time than just
Oh.
taking the road.
Yeah, it's just that it's a well-oiled. So let's see. It's gonna be it's like 36 miles. 6 miles. So 3 hours. What? 3 miles an hour. So that's just 1 hour too. Okay, and then so it's like it takes like an hour to 2 hours. So it takes about 2 hours to get to where the thing was, and then it takes. Oh, there it is. Yeah, because it was about 18 miles. And what's 18 divided by 3? I didn't have this one. Oh, aha, 6. So not 6 hours though, 'cause it's 5, 3. All right, so yeah, the whole travel itself is about like around 5 hours ish, maybe closer.
So it's around noon, maybe.
Yeah, you'll get there around noon, but like you have plenty of time to have this discussion.
Okay, so we have
during
5
the
hours.
road.
So
yeah.
while we were traveling, dear goblin friends, do any of you happen to have a pearl of high value? I have a particular spell capable of identifying objects and individuals enchanted by the arcane, and that could be useful in progressing towards the path of an alpha, if you would.
And one of them is like, ugh. And he raises up. He has a pearl necklace. But little Stump just smacks his hand and then provides a sizable pearl. And then consider this part of my payment? What do I get?
Yes, of course. I actually have a plan, Stump, dear friend, to teach you quite the magic. So I feel as though, do you ever feel like you have communication difficulties?
sort of. I
I
make
feel as though
do.
there are perhaps magics that I could provide and or teach, providing that you have the intellect to achieve such arcane prowess that would allow you to communicate to a much higher degree.
Oh yeah, I am smart. I can do
Could I-
that.
Yeah, actually, if I could, as the beginnings of this negotiation, could I, or as for this negotiation, could I try to teach him the beginnings of magic to see if he has any talent for it?
Yeah, go ahead. I guess I don't know. Arcana. I guess that'd kind of be an Arcana roll. We'll go with Arcana. 14. Ooh, sorry. Let's see. What does he do? Oh my god.
Do you have
Yeah.
good intelligence?
He seems to be grasping it pretty well. Like mind you, it'll take a little time and effort.
Yeah, this isn't like a one day, oh, you're a wizard now. But maybe we can start the process as we're traveling together.
Actually, he picks up on it very quickly. And what specifically are you trying to teach him? Is there any cantrip or spell or
So
something?
yeah, specifically, I mean, I did have the idea of also getting into his brain and trying to to do a similar process that made me capable of telepathic speech, but I feel like that's more in depth.
I
So
love that.
minor illusion was the spell that we're going to start with, is me trying to teach him just a simple cantrip of illusion
And let me just check something.
to make him a more charismatic leader. And maybe Enki could help, since Enki also knows the spell, or anybody else that's magically inclined
It's
could help with the lessons.
as you're teaching it, you see him grasp onto this concept, and he is able to cast as he casts minor illusion and creates a sound that mimics like whatever so to show him how to cast it, is there a certain thing you make with the minor illusion?
I would have done two things. I would have done the music that they seem to enjoy listening to, and I would have also done a projection of the voice I heard in his head.
Gotcha. And so yeah, he does kind of start playing some music starts playing from just he has like an image of like what would he put for the image? He just has like an image of a chalice overflowing, and there
I do
just
believe with
seems to
minor
be-
illusion you can only do an image or a sound.
Oh, or sound, not a
but
sound from the image.
Unless he's an illusionist wizard, but that's I think a level 2 feature. But
no,
that's
no.
anyway.
He just has access to the spell.
Okay.
So he just creates the noise from his hand, and then he gets shocked and kind of tilts his head a little bit.
My friend Stump, I think that we can say you are on the path to greatness already. You are even more talented than I could have hoped for.
Joyous occasion. As he uses the spell to create that sound, and then kind of looks at you for a moment. And you could make a insight check real quick.
Am I the only one that gets to make an insight check?
Others can too. Others who
I
are
assume
listening
everybody's
in.
together, right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah,
10's
yeah,
better
not
for
bad,
me
but-
than usual.
I mean, I can do it too. Oh,
Nope. Nobody who's listening cares enough to.
All right. So I guess it's just Avalon who is listening in. Uh, so Avalon doesn't really pick up on it either. I will say for a 10, it doesn't necessarily hide it. And given the fact that you were just teaching him, it does seem like he was probably using this spell to like show that he's picking up on what he's learning. So hard to tell.
Meaning that
Maybe he was looking for like a what's the word? not reassurance, but like praise, maybe, but hard to say.
Yeah, like I said before, I was praising him and saying, I think you have the potential, and if you have a pearl of requisite value, I could perhaps teach you an even greater spell that I would use on this here fishing rod.
And, or I think he already gave you the. Oh, you'd say you'd teach him that spell if he gave you
Yeah,
another
effectively
one?
was yeah.
Okay.
He said, what could I get, right, if this is payment?
Oh,
And so
I
I was
thought he
teaching him
already
the
gave
spell.
you it. Okay, my apologies. So then, in that case, yeah, he definitely
may
gives you
have.
the pearl.
So I will try to use the pearl so we can finally identify this rod and see if it's worth something.
Gotcha.
And I will show Stump and anybody else who's magically interested the method of the spell to try to teach them.
And gotcha. So it seems like he has. Could you go ahead and pop up identify again, or oh no, it's right here. It's a divination.
It's a little bit up, yeah.
Okay.
It is ritual as well.
So he. Let me double check, but I. Yeah, it has to be one of those two. Okay. So yeah, he seems to be having difficulty grasping it, but he might learn someday. Probably not.
We can get him some character levels.
And so, with the casting of Identify, and as you put up this this pearl up to this item, and this is the Golden Rod of Catching. It helps you with catching opportunities of potentially catching Moldy Goldie. However, if you have a certain item that you could use to help charge this item, it could perchance grab more than just fish. However, without its counterpart, this item is currently strictly for catching fish.
I would have said all that out loud to my friends or allies. I'm still not sure about the friends part yet. I think we should find its counterpart before deciding, but that's just my opinion. I'll defer to the group.
I mean, do we know what his counterpart would be exactly?
Yeah, that's a good point. After I... Oh, sorry. Was Severin's going to say something?
I was gonna say, are we holding on to it and leaving and trying to look for the counterpart outside the city limits?
Perhaps we could brainstorm what the counterpart might be. Would there be a check DM to try to figure out what that might be, or would that be part of the identify? Is there like a slot for a big old battery or a fishing line or bait, perhaps?
Go ahead and make, I guess, investigation.
Yes, if anyone has any ideas, I would appreciate their input as well.
So
what? I am going to use a DM inspiration.
I'm also going to use one.
Yeah, I'm going to mark one down and use it.
I did have one question. Is about the fishing thing. How long was it supposed to start ago?
Oh, it's I think it's like 2 weeks, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, 2 weeks.
So it was supposed to start 2 weeks ago. Oh wow.
And with a 19, it's hard to say, but given that this item was technically initially homed in Harbortown, Harbortown wouldn't be a bad spot to look for it. If you ask around in terms of mythical, magical items of sorts, someone might be able to help you out. And with a 19 as well, let's see. Yeah, so asking around will help, and then also too, you might consider asking more about the fishing competition, in terms of if is there a reward or not. Because if there's a magic item in the town, and there's a big competition about to occur, worth looking into at least.
I
I assume that
personally
said.
good.
I assume Needles is saying that to the rest
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah, I would have conveyed all that out loud. That's pretty much what I was about to do. Yes, so I convey all that to my friends, and see what they have to say.
Then I think we should hold off on adding Christopher Dawkins to the fishing competition committee and ask around town first.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also want to go talk to the mayor about the fishing competition and also John Williams. Because it seems
Yes.
like
Oh,
John
right.
Williams was part of it, well, lives in Harbortown. Well, we don't know if he actually lives in Harbortown.
That is a good point. I was able to recast floating disc
Mhm.
fine, and we got the orc and statue all the way here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Although
because
I
we do have
assume
the
you leave
statue.
the orc by the tunnel.
Yes.
Just
I
bring
assume
a
we haven't
hot
brought
water into the
the
city.
statue out either, but I do want to bring out to my friends. I am worried that this statue is someone from the town, considering the circumstances. So perhaps we should bring the statue to the mayor or the authorities.
I don't want to bring anything to the mayor yet. I don't trust the mayor completely. There's a lot of things being hidden in this town. So I don't think bringing the statue to the mayor and then telling him about it would be the best idea.
I was a bit distracted.
Maybe I could put to use some of my cartography skills to make a sketch of the person. See
Yeah,
if we can't get anyone who recognizes it around town.
We
I
can do
like
that.
that idea.
Do we have a
Yeah, and if
like
you do that, I
cartographer
will.
tools for you? Like, do we have like
Yeah, I have cartographer's tools.
Yeah, go ahead and use that. Make that roll.
I will try to use a help action.
Yep,
Oh,
make that
good.
roll with
Which-
advantage.
There we
And
go.
I do have experience with drawing living things, specifically living things, and dead things, but mostly organic things.
I mean, the living things that I have experience drawing are mostly trees.
Yeah, so I would have helped guide on the more living aspects, but yeah, hopefully that's enough.
Oh yeah, 19 definitely. You make a pretty accurate drawing of this statue person.
Wonderful. Then I
Right,
will.
so is this... Oh, go ahead.
I guess I'll. If we want to go around town and look for someone who maybe knows who this is.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a list. So we're going to ask about the reward for the fishing competition and a potential counterpart to the rod, and for this individual, and about John Williams. Are there anything other than those three?
Mm. Can we also go back to the house with the murder if anything's changed?
We can put that on the list.
Because we did just leave that body just there and then tell the authorities, but I don't know if they actually did anything.
I don't mind wherever we start, so that I'll leave that up to you all.
Doesn't much mind either. So.
Yeah. We're closest to the market square, so we probably just head there first to ask about the missing person.
I'll head to the inn to ask about the information on if there's a reward for the fishing contest.
And
I think it
then-
may be best for us to stay together. Just my opinion, because we do know about this. Was it Ignis? Or am I remembering the name correctly? What was it?
It
It
depends
is-
on who you're referring to.
Yeah, Ignis,
The creepy guy who was on the cliff.
Ignis.
the High Chieftain of Flames.
I'm worried that we might have some dangers lurking in the city. I'd prefer we stay together, but if you'd like to go off on your own, I won't stop you.
I mean, if he was going to try something, he could have done that a while ago.
I just don't want to find any dead bodies like Enki, even if it was a joke.
Mm. So are you guys going to stay together, or are we separating to cover more ground?
I think we should stay together because there's a lot of different things going around. There's someone petrifying people, there's someone or something that is hunting along the road in the woods. And then there's supposedly Ignis, but we haven't confirmed if that was actually him, but it with the signs are pointing that it was him. I think it would definitely be best to stay together.
All right.
We can go to the marketplace and then ask at the inn about the prize.
Let's head to the marketplace.
To the market. And I will have Detect Magic up and active, looking for illusions and otherwise.
All right. I think this is an. That's fine.
All right, did we need to be stealthy getting out of the tunnel, or was that? Are we not bothering? I don't know if it matters.
Well, that's a good question. I was about to ask, are you guys, do you just walk out of the tunnel? Because I forgot you went through the tunnel instead of just walking regular. Because you walked to the tunnel and went through the tunnel because it would be a bit quicker. Yeah.
Were we stealthy that time when we walked into the tunnel?
Well, it
Oh,
was
we didn't
nighttime.
do any. Yeah, we didn't use any stealth
Yeah.
when we went in.
So I thought.
So no stealth, just exiting.
We could just announce to the city folk that the goblins shouldn't be as much of a problem now, and use that as an excuse.
Yeah, we can do that.
That works for me.
Works for me as well.
And then perhaps leave one of our allies guarding the entrance so that the goblins are not immediately found.
I can leave Tara at the entrance.
Tara will give a little salute, a nod.
I trust you,
Hopefully with-
Tara.
Hopefully with 3 of our allies down there, they'll be fine. And 1 outside.
Oh,
All right.
We went to the market. Did anybody stop us as we tried to climb out of a tunnel?
Yeah, so as you're clambering out of the tunnel, there is like actually you do come across Trent. And he's like, "Oh, hey there. How's it going there? Didn't see you at your camp and just saw your monkeys evaporate into nothingness. That was pretty pretty odd. So don't you worry. I made sure to put out your fire so you wouldn't cause any problems there. Campsite's in good condition. But this is a interesting little hole you found here. You got yourself. Yeah, dig this yourself. It looks rather professional. As he just kind of like taps, like leans down and like taps the side of the hole.
well,
No, the Gucci Goblin gang is the one who made this, but they shouldn't be much of a problem anymore. So we didn't see much of a point in not using it.
but you shouldn't be using it. It's still pretty dangerous just to go into that tunnel.
It does lead directly out into the forest.
Yeah, I don't think you want.
It leads out to the road.
I think it leads off to the side of the road. It's not.
Yeah.
It's in the forest.
Or
I
side
just
of the
think you
road.
can see the road.
Is it in the forest? I thought it
It's-
was.
It depends
It's
on
not
if you're
in the middle
lying
of
or
the
not.
road.
I thought
It's-
it was in between like the road in the forest on like some grassy hill or something.
Yeah, it's kind of near the side of the road ish, but a little ways off.
Okay, I thought
It's
it was
not
like
a perfect
just...
midway between forest and road, but it is kind of there.
Okay, I was under the impression that the forest went all the way up to the very edge of the road, and that it was just slightly off.
No, there's there's a bit of a clearing between the
Okay.
forest and the road.
That's where my confusion was.
Yep, no worries. And he just kind of looks and goes, and also, could you guys let's do, since it's everyone's kind of talking to him, let's just do a collaborative roll. So everyone make a persuasion. I guess if you're saying it's dangerous to go into the, so we have two different rolls, right? One is saying you've dealt with the goblins. That's technically true. So who said? Because actually, that's true. You guys both said two different things.
I said that that we'd already dealt with the Gucci Goblin gang,
So-
even though they were the ones who made it, so we didn't see much of a
Yeah,
reason in not using it.
Hawk roll persuasion, and Severance, you were the one who was saying it's too dangerous to go in there.
Oh no, that was me.
Oh no! Oh,
Jeez.
sorry.
'Cause I was
Yeah,
trying.
Yeah,
inspiration.
that was.
I was trying because it's kind of true
Wow.
because it leads out the city and into a dangerous part
Yeah, Avalon,
near
go
the
ahead and
forest.
give me a deception roll.
Oof.
All right, 17. Gotcha,
And I did use a DM inspiration for that 24.
gotcha.
Am I
And-
able to use my actor feed?
What
Or
does
that-
that do
I
I
again?
think that only applies to to pretend to be a different person. I believe. You can look it up. I don't
Yeah.
fully remember. Does it say in your sheet? Your
Yeah,
character
when
sheet?
trying to pass yourself off as a different
Okay.
person.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then.
I will say, 17, is that what you're sticking with for the deception roll?
Yes.
So with a 24, so he's a, oh, that's real good. You should probably let the mayor know about that. That their problem solved, and but so the tunnels, it's dangerous. You say that's unfortunate. But you know, it seems like it's a dark place, and you know I don't like cramped places. So yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of holes myself. Unless they're a fire pit, I'm a big fan of those fire pits. But that seems more like a cramp hallway. Let's say, try to avoid those.
Oh, believe me, it is very cramped.
Oh yeah, then no, thank you. No, yeah, you enjoy yourselves in that tunnel. I'm gonna take your word for it that that's a dangerous tunnel, and I'm gonna keep my nose out of it.
And we will be notifying the mayor. We are doing several investigations for the city. We've uncovered a murder. We've uncovered the reasoning behind the delay of the fishing competition, and we've dealt with the Cooch Gang goblins. So I think we're in for quite a reward.
You've done a lot.
Oh wow, yeah, you guys have been pretty busy beavers out there, eh? That's very nice of you to help us out like that. But
You
well,
don't happen to
anyway,
recognize this person, do you?
he looks,
Pointing towards Haka's drawing.
Just gonna hold it up.
and he'll look at it, and I'll be, oh yeah, that guy was camping here a while back. We just came to visit. Nice enough guy. Just someone from out of town. Actually, I don't know too much about him. Kind of kept to himself, but yeah, no, I went missing a while back. But well, not missing. He just kind of left. Haven't seen him for a while.
How long have you seen him?
Well, I'd say about like maybe 4 weeks, 5, 4.5.
And just a reminder, this was the most recent statue. That might still work with the
Yeah, I
timeline, but
think
I
it
did want
was-
to just
Mhm.
about a week ago that they got it.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
it,
they
so
got
it might have
about a
been
week ago.
a month before. He might have disappeared a month before they got him. But I just wanted to remind you that it was the most recent statue that we retrieved.
Mhm.
Do you remember a name?
Yeah, he called himself Sven, I believe.
Then, do you know anybody by the name of John Williams?
Oh yeah, the statue salesman. He's in the town square.
Right now?
Oh yeah, he sells wonderful pieces put in your garden.
Are the pieces usually life-sized or smaller?
Oh yeah, well I mean, they're pretty good. You get some like some wolves, some dogs, a lot of different life, a lot of creatures. Very good animals. He does a really good job. Real realistic. Why,
Oh,
just
no.
the other
Other
day
people?
I got myself a goose. Looks just like a real goose. Vicious teeth and all. It looks very
Oh, no.
angry. I got it actually back at the campsite if you want to take a look.
Yeah, I suppose we're all still at the campsite, I would assume, right? Because he stopped us right outside the hole.
Yeah. Got it over by my tent.
It's a real-looking goose.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you
Like it
follow
could-
him over to his tent, he'll walk over with you, and he's like, "Oh yeah, make yourself comfortable here. Have a drink." And he pours out some ale into a mug and hands it to anyone who accepts it. And
I'm not a
after,
big drinker.
I'm not a drinker.
oh, fair enough. More for me then.
Which is weird, Joe. It's weird because I do work in a tavern sometimes. So,
I lose track of my surroundings often enough as it is.
yes, that is true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't need a debuff to wisdom.
I've definitely had that happen to me once or twice. But yeah, there she is, a beauty, ain't she? And yeah, there's a goose that's like seems to be a fairly an aggressive pose, almost like it's either chasing or running from something. And go ahead and make a.
So-
Oh yeah. And with
I just wanted to
Mhm.
potentially use the identify spell if it works for this scenario. I don't. It might be too high level of an effect for me to identify with a level 1 spell, but that's up to you.
Yeah, well, so let's see. Properties. Well, let's see. It's an object. And it's technically not an object, but it technically is an object. So it's
It does say, let's see, if you touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. It says at the very end.
perfect. So there is no spell affecting this creature,
Okay.
Mm.
but there clearly is an effect affecting this creature, given the fact that this is, in fact, a creature.
But identify does not tell me anything more than we already knew, seemingly.
Well,
It-
in a sense, it tells you something through what it doesn't tell you.
Right. It just confirms that it's not. Okay. It's not a spell. Anyway, I just, it was such a delightful sculpture. I just felt the need to, Mr. Trent, I felt the need to use some magic to identify the sculptor. But it seems like everything's good to go. No
Oh,
issues
good.
here. In my allies' heads. Yeah, that's a living goose as well. Should we tell him or should we investigate first?
We should not tell him. Let's
well,
go see him.
I
Go see
mean-
John Williams first.
Are we gonna reply to him? Because we can't reply telepathically.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I would be. I'm really small, so I could just stand right next to like on somebody's shoulder, so they could whisper quietly. But yeah,
You could also just like turn away from Trent if you want to do a little.
Just
I
you
don't
will
know
spray
how
right in
observant
front of him.
Trent is.
thumbs up, thumbs down, nodding, shaking your head.
Uh,
Maybe we could create a system. Morse code.
Well, Trent.
Shake my head. I'm not interested in telling him.
Yeah. So Trent, thank you for showing us the statue. Your statue. It's really good. We'll be leaving to head to John Williams and checking out his other statues.
Ed, satisfied with the compliment to his statue, he goes, "Oh yeah, well you have a good one there." And says, "Don't be a stranger," and waves you off as you head towards the market.
Now I want to know how many statues this John Williams has made.
And
Ooh,
oh, sorry, yes.
so, I was just gonna suggest, Avalon, instead of leaving Terra, would you want to use the alarm spell over the entrance to the tunnel?
Oh, that is true. That is very true. Uh,
All right.
yeah, I'll
Also,
just
while we were talking, he might have been able to do that.
yeah, I don't think we
Sure.
got that far away enough from the campsite, right?
And it's only 1 minute. You could just quickly head back and be like, "Bet."
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget where the tunnel is.
It's within the campsite.
Okay.
I'm not designating a specific tile on the map to it. It's just you know where it is, you
There you go.
find it. All right. And with that, you form the alarm and you head into the market. All right. And so, yeah, as you're looking around the market, go ahead and make a perception. Actually, passive perception of 16 for Severance, right?
Yes.
That's enough. So, as you head into this, the square, there's a variety of people who are selling some stuff, among of which there is a oddly tall person with like a lump in the center. With a small head and kind of small arms, and a long coat. And then you see the person who has the quote unquote fortune stand. There's a couple other stands here as well, and a couple other vendors in the area, a lot of fish vendors. And as you're scanning the area, Severance, you clock there is a section of the market that has a variety of statues. And there is a well-dressed man standing at the a little vendor counter by where all the statues are.
I would like to quietly let my friends that are with me know that so we don't make them suspicious that we might be onto them.
Yes. In our conversations with John, let's not mention the name Sven. Just keep that under wraps. Let's
Right.
not mention anything that would hint that we know more than we do. We don't want any of our friends to turn into stone, do we?
No, not at all.
Not
Are we
yet.
just gonna show him the picture and ask if he's heard of anything?
I would suggest we just have a normal conversation with John now that we know where he is, and not aggravate or cause suspicion, would be my opinion. I wouldn't want to know if I could turn people to stone, and a bunch of people came asking about somebody I had previously turned to stone, I would probably turn them to stone. So I would say,
Wait,
let's not ask yet. Let's hold off.
Niels, were you saying that turn stone not yet part to yourself, or did you say that out loud?
Sorry, which part?
When you were saying about turning our friends to stone, we don't want to turn our friends to stone, not yet.
Oh, I don't want to I don't want to aggravate him yet. I don't want to take any risks yet, is what I was trying to say. No.
Yeah, no, he's not saying we may turn
I'm like, we're going to turn us stone?
To be fair, with Needle's personality,
Yeah.
it would be a fair suspicion to have, but that was not the intent, no.
Okay.
Oh.
So who wants to talk to John Williams first?
And actually, I think he addresses you
Oh,
as he sees you guys looking at his wares. And he goes, "Ah, welcome. Come on and feast your eyes at my wares. Find anything you like. Feel free to make a purchase. I have reasonable prices. Now, of course, if you don't want anything, that's fine. To look is free. However, I don't think you should deny yourself such fabulous craftsmanship. Come, don't be shy."
You don't happen to be an artiste by the name of Williams, John Williams, do you?
Ah, the one
We've
and
heard
the
so
same.
much. We've heard so much from Trent. He showed us his lovely goose.
Ah, yes, a fine specimen, if I recall correctly. I recall making that one. It was an enjoyable work. I do love my work. I'm glad you've heard of me.
seems like you put your heart and soul on these statues and everything, and all your work.
Ah, yes, my work takes quite a bit of soul.
How long does it take you to make one of these?
It varies depending. It's really just a matter of finding the inspiration to do so. You know, the artist must work with the inspiration. I cannot force it to happen. I have to find it. It has to find me. It is
You gotta have that
truly a
artist
chase.
intuition.
Yes. To find the artist's inspiration for
What
my
kind-
craft.
While he's having this creepy monologue, what kind of statues do we see? Do we see any sapient creatures, or is he just selling animals here?
Just selling animals.
No
And a goblin.
gnomes, no fairies. Oh, and a goblin. Fair enough. Okay. Any other? That's the only sapient creature we see.
Yes.
No gnomes or anything like that. No other fantasy creatures.
Correct.
Do we see pseudo dragons?
Yes, you do see a couple of pseudo dragons.
Is stone or living? Because we do know he
Stone.
had living ones. Stone. Okay.
I'm gonna ask him about how much for a pseudo dragon. I don't know if there's. I assume there's like no color, or if I wouldn't be able to tell what color they were
Oh yeah, I mean they're stone. So
previously.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like I don't know how it works with pseudo dragons. If there's any like horns or identifying marks that are unique to each color, other than just the scales.
Yeah, screw it. Go ahead and make an nature roll. Make a nature or arcana. I could be argued either direction.
Nature.
I do have detect magic up, by the way. So just if we
You know what?
encounter anything creepy or
I'm gonna-
magical,
I'm gonna use a DM inspiration on that.
No.
so bring it down.
You know what? I guess it was meant to be.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Okay, I'm just gonna get us. How much? I'm gonna ask him how much for a pseudo dragon here.
Yes, a pseudo dragon. Quite a fair specimen. I'd say 4 gold.
Take it,
And
and I'll give him 4 gold.
he hands you the statue. And so go ahead and add to your inventory pseudo dragon quote unquote statue.
Pseudo dragon, one word,
Yeah.
or is it?
It's 1 word.
Okay.
I mean, you can make it 2 if you want, but technically it's 2, or technically it's 1.
Let's make sure I've properly capitalized things here. I think that's spelled right. Statue S-T-A-T-U-E.
Probably. Pretty sure.
I think
You
so.
could also call it a petrified pseudo dragon, since we're quite certain that's what it is.
How much is that gonna weigh there?
Oh yeah, good question.
They're pretty small.
Yeah, they're not super big. I'd say like, I don't know, we'll say 25 pounds.
Okay.
It's a pretty hefty stone.
Mm-hmm. It's dense.
Hmm.
Mr. Williams, are you a fisherman of any kind? Do you ever participate in the fishing competitions?
Ah, yes, I do consider myself a bit of a fisher myself. Um, though, of course, not as good of a fisher as many. I've participated in a couple of competitions here or there, even gotten close to winning one, but no, I'm afraid I've not a fisherman by profession.
Close to winning? That's exciting. I've never been much of a fisher myself. I'm closer to bait more than the fisherman. But
Hmm.
uh, what's the prize? If you got so close to winning, I'm curious.
Oh, it varies year to year. So some years it's bigger than others. It really just depends on either who's organizing it or what the mayor has in mind. Though he's been rather preoccupied lately, so I can't imagine that he would pick anything of substance, unless, of course, someone recommended it to him who was in charge of organizing it. But given how long it's taken for this most recent competition, I can't imagine it happening anytime soon, I'm afraid.
Yes, the people in charge of organizing it must be a bunch of dawdling buffoons, really.
Yes. But regardless, and he kind of leans in, I've heard rumor that Griffin skipped town. I heard he might have taken what was supposed to be the prize for this year and took it for himself. Now, this could be wrong, but it's just gossip. But given how long it's taken for this to happen, worth looking into.
Is he wearing anything magical?
No.
Okay. And there's nothing magical at his stall, besides the potentially petrified corpses.
So, let me just double check if something's. There is a large statue that is near him of a cow, or specifically a bull.
Friends, and not to John, but just to my friends, the cow does seem somewhat magical.
Do you need to investigate it? Do you need someone to distract him for a while for you to investigate it?
Assuming that you whisper that to me,
Yeah.
I just don't know if bringing it up will bring any suspicion. If anybody else feels the desire to bring up the cow or any other statues, that would be great.
I'll try. I won't like try to act like a.
Um,
Oh.
if I assume I maybe overheard that.
Maybe.
So, because if I overheard Needles like asking about that, I was just gonna use
I said it in your
message.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it in your head that it was magical cow.
Use message like pointing at him because he's gonna make a good point there, and then showing him and I'm just gonna say maybe you could act like you're interested in the cow, and then sort of gesture,
Yeah.
sort of like you were asking about like trying to pass it off as Needles asking about an animal that he might be interested in, and then pointing out something that I happened to find. I'm not sure what kind of role we would make for that.
Like, I think I was going to try to do a performance. Maybe. If that's okay with DM.
Sure. Describe what you're doing.
So I'm like kind of gesturing like, here, John Williams, Mr. Williams. I gotta say, all these statues looks really good. But I can't really feel the emotion from them, per se. I mean, this one looks alright. Like I can see it's like kind of happy. This one looks kind of a little scared about something. I don't know what. But it's like I can't really see it.
Oh,
But
well,
right here, and then I gesture to the cow. There's so much right here. You gotta tell me more about this one right here.
yeah, go ahead and roll performance.
Oh wait, or you DM inspiration. Oh.
And we can give that guidance if Severance is willing to give it. Now, he is. Oh, that's true though. You would be casting it like
Yeah,
right
you
in
would
front of the
check
guy.
that.
You would be praying right in front of him, right? That's
Yeah,
what the
that's
guidance is. It's
essentially
like,
praying. Yeah.
dear Moon Maiden, please help him persuade this man. That would
Well,
be confusing to see.
wouldn't John Williams just be staring
Or-
at me the entire
Or
time?
the prayer could be something like, "Dear Moon Maiden, please help this man describe the statues," or something along the lines.
Or
Yo, what? Give him guidance. Give him guidance.
Oh,
go,
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
As you're just giving.
He's just really devout.
He's
It's
just
not
a
strange.
really
It's just
devout follower.
he's very devout. Don't worry about he's very devout.
I
And he
am-
wants to know more.
Am an archbishop.
Yeah. And he sees you praying, and you are like wearing like bishop robes and such over your armor. Oh, actually, that's true. You don't wear armor. You just have like the armor is a part of your chassis, right? I think.
I think I have chainmail.
Well, what he's
The
saying is
answer
that
you're looking for
Warforged.
is yes.
The reason he asks is because Warforged usually incorporate the armor into their body
So yeah,
as something that they're capable of.
that armor would then be the plating. So yes.
But also, you could make the choice to make it so the armor is you're wearing the armor. You have the choice to choose either to be wearing the armor or have it a part of your chassis. And either way, you'd be wearing cloaks. But I guess the question is, do you have the robing? But like, let me look at your character.
I don't have it in my character sheet, but that's because and on this character, I didn't do that since at the time I didn't know that I was an archbishop since that information was given at the end of the first session.
Gotcha. Okay. Got it. And also, if you feel like redoing it, feel free and we can update.
I might just redo it.
Gotcha. And so yeah, we can update that once you get it done. Just let me know. And so yeah, he sees this prank. Go ahead and Avalon, give me Severance, give me a D4. Go ahead and roll a D4, see what we add to Avalon's roll. All right, 13. So is this Avalon, this 10 is this? Are we sticking with this? Well, technically 13.
Yeah, I'm taking the 13.
So with the 13, he kind of looks at you, and he goes, yes, well, you know, all my pieces are great pieces, but this one in particular is, you know, it's given its size, it's more of a display model. It's not really for sale, but it is one of my favorite works. It really does. Just keeping this around helps inspire me, and it really just helps breathe life into my work. Just seeing one of my original pieces that I'm just so fond of. So I couldn't really part with it.
Original, really?
Yes, one of my original works. Yes.
John, I think you need to be more open-minded. You see, Avalon here, throughout all of our many years of journeying together, has told me time and time again of his love for bovine, milk-producing creatures and their kin. So, I just feel we have so much gold to offer. It would be a shame truly a shame if we couldn't, at the very least, discuss purchasing it.
I mean, I've been around around places, John. You gotta understand. I know when I see something amazing.
Yeah,
You gotta just talk us through it.
go ahead and make a Needle's deception check with advantage.
And as I'm making the check, I would also like to add, yes, his great grandmother, she was actually a minotaur. It's quite the story.
I mean, you
He's
see
always
this
felt a
arm?
connection to the bovine creatures. Sorry, it's a deception with advantage.
I'm tempted to just make it a deception now.
Like, you gotta see this prosthetic on him right here.
It doesn't matter if it was advantage or not. It was
Yeah,
the first one was better.
yeah.
Mhm.
So he'll just be like, must have been a distant relative, I suppose.
Wait, was there a prayer involved? was there a prayer?
Severance, is there a prayer?
It's fine if he can't get away with it this time. We're already squeezing him in.
Yeah.
It'd be, please let Moon Maiden please let this man no, I got nothing.
Okay.
Like, I got nothing for you.
The Moon Maiden cannot help with this.
No.
Yeah. So at this point, yeah. So 19 though. So he looks as, must be distant relative. Interesting. Hey, I have a workshop not far from here. If you're into the bovine, I might be able to show you some of my work. This is just one of my original pieces. Perhaps I could give you a private tour of some of my works. Maybe you'll find something you're more attuned with. And
Hey.
that is similar of the bovine nature, that I might even have a minotaur in stock. I'll have to look around.
Believe me, I've been around and seen a lot, so nothing won't surprise me there.
Oh, I'm sure you might find something that'll surprise you.
Where would we meet you and what time? I'm quite
Yes.
interested in this. I'd like to see if you have any fairy statues in stock.
Well, I'd be hesitant to make a fairy statue, but I could try. I just guess I haven't found the inspiration yet. But
I'd be
might.
happy to be your model.
And he goes,
We're quite
Oh.
small after all.
perhaps we'll meet at my workshop. Maybe I could. I think I might be feeling an inspiration coming along.
Do you have?
I'm so
address
glad to
for
hear
us?
it.
However, I need to make sure I stay in the market to sell my goods first. But once I'm done, I'll gladly meet you just outside of town is where my workshop is. I do have a home here as well. Oh, actually, no, sorry, his workshop isn't outside of town. It is at his house. He goes, yes, my home is actually just outside the market. Feel free to meet me there, and I can show you my work.
What time would be best to meet? I'm so eager, I'd be willing to meet you anytime, even late at night.
Yes, well, the market closes at sundown, so feel free to come by a little after that.
We will do.
Good. And, he's like, now, is there anything else you wish to purchase?
Well, I was going to suggest myself and Severance being devout followers of the Moon Maiden, correct, Severance?
Yes, for sure.
We would like. I'm just so enamored by this this bull piece that Avalon has pointed out. we have a ritual to grant a great blessing of the Moon Maiden. Could we perhaps perform it? Severance, I'm sure you're quite eager.
Well,
Not really.
In your head, in just Severance, in just your head, you hear a very like harsh hissing sound of frustration.
And then I'm going. Then I'm gonna say, no, I'm just kidding. I'm an archbishop. Let's do it.
No, I don't see you like.
as he's just been like praying this entire conversation to just nah.
That was good.
Oh god.
But just as Severance in his head, I would like to say, I'm trying to identify the piece, considering it's magically enchanted.
Oh.
Yeah, so I will
Anyway.
assist in that performance.
Might be a
All right, let me just double check a thing real quick.
yeah. Just to clarify, I'm trying to pass off my identify spell as
Yeah.
a Moon Maiden
Yeah.
ritual.
Go ahead
In
and give
case
me
that
a
clarifies anything.
deception roll.
But does his assist give advantage, or was it not a good enough assist?
Severance, give me either a religion check or a performance, one of the two. Oh, Severance? Uh-oh.
Huh?
Give me a perception, or sorry, Jesus. Give me a either performance or religion check. All right,
That's
so
good.
yeah, go ahead and make that roll with advantage. Needles.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. I could use a DM inspiration, but I am running low.
Well, I mean, you got 13 twice. It seems like it's fate.
Yes,
And
13 is my final roll.
go ahead and cast Identify.
Right. So I was trying to convince him to give permission beforehand.
Oh, just for permission? Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, okay. And then I guess it'd
Yeah,
be more
I
of a
didn't want to-
performance to make it look like it's a religious prayer.
Okay, so was that for?
So I guess it would have been.
So he gives us
persuasion.
permission.
Yeah, but he'll be like, sure. As he looks, and you know what? Honestly, that guidance, we're adding that. That's a 24. As you're, you just praying, like, please let me look at this cow, please, Moon Maiden.
Okay, so are we rolling something again, or is that the just because I misunderstood what the roll was for? So he just gave permission, and then deception was for passing it off as a ritual.
Oh no! I didn't realize that you were trying to get.
Oh, I'm
just
fine
permission.
whatever way. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted him to give permission so he wasn't confused by what we were doing with his cow.
Yeah.
His bull.
So we'll use the 13 for getting permission, and then it'll be a separate roll for the playing it off as that
And what roll are we making?
performance.
Do you also want to roll Severance, or do you want me to roll twice? Or is it just?
Oh yes,
Well, I assume,
Severance could.
I assume I'd have him roll twice since I'm still praying.
Yeah, actually, why don't you all make a performance roll?
All of us.
Because Avalon, if you're willing to jump on board,
I can.
My roll is pretty good.
Oh wow.
nice. So then, 16 to 10 to 25 average. Okay, so not a bad average.
Winch did. No, I guess Winch didn't participate in the conversation too much, but
Oh,
he is
hey,
here.
and you know what? There he is. Let's go. He been silent this entire time, and he's like, "Yeah, no. We all pray. We support our
We in there.
our Moon Maidens. Yeah. Okay. So he seems to be. Yeah. He's pretty convinced that it's a religious ritual, and so as you cast Identify, I just need to double check.
I'll bring it up again.
Oh no, that's not what I was double checking, but I do
Oh, okay.
appreciate it. I have to double check a different thing. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, that's what I thought they looked like. Nothing. Okay. So yeah, this creature. Oh, yeah, with the Identify, it's a creature. It doesn't have any magic affecting it.
Is there a school of magic to whatever I saw? Because you said it was visibly magical through detect magic.
Yeah, it itself is a magical creature.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
So I at least we know that much. We know that a magical creature was petrified, and I'm seeing the
It is
remnants
not
of that magical
petrified.
creature. Oh.
Oh, it's not petrified.
Correct.
But is it stone?
Correct.
Or is it just a cow?
Correct.
Or bull?
Bull, but yes.
Does it look like stone?
Yes.
But it is, as far as I can tell through our ritual, it is just a bull that looks like it's stone.
No. It is a magical stone bull.
Oh.
It is an
wait.
actual bull made of stone. I think.
That
Like
seems to have a little more magic.
like
to
a
it.
golem of some kind. With my
Kind of.
knowledge of living creatures, would I think it's a golem or an automaton or some sort of elemental?
Make an Arcana roll.
And if anybody else who is trained in Arcana, could they also make a roll?
They could
I think Haka
either
might be.
someone could either provide assistance or we could do another average roll.
I can provide assistance. Oh, well.
I assume I'm still providing assistance. Like if this
Mhm. This is a separate roll from what you guys have been doing at this point. Mhm.
Yeah, this is to figure out because my identify spell pretty much told me, hey, this thing isn't petrified.
Mhm.
It's completely still though. It's not breathing or anything like
currently
that.
standing completely still, not breathing.
Then I'll assist.
Okay. Well,
14.
there was potentially a chance for guidance in there if Severance could, but we did already roll.
Hey, actually, Avalon, why don't you roll Arcana with advantage?
Okay.
So,
I don't-
Mr. Automaton.
I don't know if I
Oh, that's
can
true.
get in on this roll since my Arcana is just 0.
no. So also too, since you're assisting, since you're using the assist on the Needles' roll, you don't roll yourself.
Oh, so it's different from the rolls previously, but I'm
Mhm.
still assisting. Okay.
Yeah, like it's just we're changing how you're doing it, kind of thing. So like
Okay.
in this instance, maybe you're like, I don't know, pointing or something like that. But either way, yeah, honestly, given the two rolls, yeah, your assistance is pointing. Unless you want to word it elsewise, otherwise, if you feel like it would be a different way of you assisting. But with that being said, whereas Avalon, you are fairly familiar with automatons and of the like, given, Terra.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you made Terra yourself, right?
Yeah, several
Yeah.
times. Because
Yeah.
like he kind of blew up one time and then had to rebuild him. Then he blew up again. Then rebuild him.
So you're pretty familiar with this. And yeah, this creature that's in front of you is some sort, it's kind of like a golem of a sort, some kind of monstrosity before you. And given how you look at it, it does, usually they're metal from your studies, but maybe it's metal underneath. But this seems to be a Gorgon disguised as a statue with some kind of stone plating, perhaps, or maybe it's just a variant of a Gorgon that is stone instead of metal.
And then I'll just relay this. Well, not out loud.
Yeah, maybe wait until
Yeah.
we're done
Well,
and
yeah.
get away.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. I don't have to like the. I can't do everything in my head like Needles does.
It's like, wait. This is gonna be out loud. It's gonna be out loud.
So,
You're gonna say it on main.
so I was just like, that's very interesting. Your original art piece is very interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And to cap off the performance, the ritual, I'm just gonna cast Prestidigitation to clean off any dust or anything that might be on it, and just we're done. The end. Maybe Severin sprinkle some holy water.
Severance to you just a little like to clean.
Yeah.
You guys just polish his stone.
Pull out like a very, very small vial of like water,
Mhm.
even though I don't technically have that. It's for the bit, so
But you
Yeah,
probably
do it
have
for the bit.
water. You just have to pretend that it's holy water.
Yeah.
yeah. See, it's actually
You're an
it's
archbishop.
actually
Any water you
water
have
from
is-
He
the
is an
ocean.
archbishop.
Yeah.
You
Couldn't
just
he
bless it on the
bless
scene.
it?
Yeah, you could bless it on the scene. It's all good.
Right. I'm sure it doesn't have the properties of D&D holy water, but yeah, for effect.
Yeah.
You can baptize the Gorgon. I'm sure it'll love it.
Yeah, he's just kind of like William just looks for a moment. He's like, okay. Well, thank you for this. I'm glad you like my work.
Seeing him unconvinced, I'm going to create an illusion of a full moon above us just to polish it off since he doesn't seem to be buying it as much.
And he'll look and be like, huh. Well, all right,
He
there's a lot.
has granted her blessings upon us.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Sorry, this is just a lot to take in at once.
It's all right. It's all right.
But thank you. For this. Hey. Hold on, wait. Can I have a collective persuasion check real quick?
Oh,
Yeah, of course. So that he doesn't petrify us all right now in the middle of Times Square.
right.
Do you need one
Persuasion.
from-
Yeah,
Do you need one
persuasion.
from me, even though I didn't take part in the thing?
I
in
mean,
the-
Yeah, I think we were
the
all
identifier
kind
ritual?
yeah.
oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I thought everyone was sort of participating in the ritual to make it seem, because essentially
No, I
everyone
would've
who
passed
did that
it off as
performance.
I'm just a merchant.
So
Oh,
that's
so you specifically didn't help out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess-
am
yeah,
Oh
you didn't
yeah,
roll
Hawk
either.
didn't.
He didn't-
Okay,
he
so never
didn't
mind.
even roll.
Hawk, you don't roll.
Fox just watching us be doofuses. None of us except Avalon knowing that it's a Gorgon that could potentially petrify us at any minute.
Yes.
20. All right, hold on. Let me do some math here. Pull out the old
It's not too bad. 18, 17, 16, and 13.
Yeah. That's. Oh, 16. Not bad. And that's. So, yeah, he's going to look at you guys and he's just going to be like, hey, Look, you guys seem very devout, and I really appreciate you guys coming to my stand, buying my goods, and blessing my goods, and like looking at some of my original piece and just having this much appreciation for the art. It is warming. The people here, they appreciate my art, but never have I seen such a display of appreciation for my art. we don't have to go into my basement for evaluating to show my work. I can just um I have some work, but you guys, you seem like adventurers. You guys are so busy. You don't have to do that. I appreciate the thought, but this is enough, honestly. I really appreciate this. If you want to see stuff, I'm going to be honest, it's just works in progress. There's nothing really that interesting at this point in there. I hate to admit it. And I'd hate to waste your time. Especially after you did me this favor. You guys don't have to. The thought is
we
appreciated.
insist. We insist. We have to come. We have to.
No, I mean, look, I appreciate what you're trying to do here, and already you've done so much for me. You don't have to do that.
In my allies' heads, perhaps we just play along and decide not to go. He seems to trust us to some degree, and we know his address. We can always investigate, as was already the plan, while he's not present. Perhaps we just skedaddle without garnering any more suspicion.
How we're going to investigate the house without getting in the house?
We have our ways, I'm sure. Anyway, you can have responded, but might have been able to whisper. But anyway,
Yeah.
that is what I said to my allies.
Yeah.
But if Avalon wants to keep insisting, then he can.
Yeah,
I'm
Avalon, you
going
can.
to accept.
If you want, Avalon, you can make an insight check.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, nah.
He's just like, and if there's anyone else who wants to make an insight, they can as well, because I guess you guys are all witnessing this conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm a great witness.
Yeah.
Great
Oh.
witness, best witness you could ask for.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, so he was wearing a tutu and an elephant mask.
No,
He went
Well,
north, I promise.
Okay, you were about to say something.
well, because this is insight, not perception. So this is just good. No social cues. Don't worry about it. Anyone else rolling or no? Going once.
I'll
Oh.
roll.
Yeah. So Hawk, you realize he.
That was.
Or sorry,
That was-
sorry.
that-
No, sorry. I just saw the
Not me.
Severance. Severance. You realize he seems to have, and with a 10, unfortunately, Winch doesn't seem to notice. But Severance, you do notice that he seems to have. There's almost like a tinge of remorse in his voice. As he's like, in both like a combination of appreciation and remorse, in his voice as he's trying to tell you to don't go, almost as if he like, given
Like,
how
don't
nice.
come to school tomorrow.
Oh no.
Don't come to the marketplace.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Why kid giving you advice?
But yeah, so that's what you clock as he is, and with that, Avalon, because I mean, mind you, this is Severance who picked up on this.
Mm-hmm.
So Avalon, do you press more or no?
No, since I can't read him, like I'm just like, okay, if you're all fine with this,
Yeah, looking to the rest of the group, like, all right. He says, yes, but if you do wish to visit at some point, I suppose, I can't say no, but just don't you, if you have other things, you don't have to worry about it. But anyway, I do still have to try to sell to some customers, and I do think
Right,
I see
right.
someone else in who's a potential buyer. So I'm going to go ahead and make that sale. But
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
and he goes and starts trying to haggle with the other person who walked by.
So, how we feeling? Is like, well, is he far away enough for us to have a conversation?
Yeah,
Chandler?
he walks a little bit, and you guys can also like walk a different direction as well.
Yeah, I think I would start
Yeah.
leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and presumably we haven't checked the entire marketplace, so there might still be, let's say, a magic item that's a part of the set for the golden rod somewhere.
Yeah, go ahead and make an
Yeah.
active perception check.
Well, I think.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I think Avalon was just trying to get an opportunity to tell us really quickly
Oh, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
about the Gorgon.
Well, I was like, if well, yeah, that, and also like how we feel about John Williams.
We're
I
far
would
enough away at this
also
point.
I would also give the information of like from the insight check about how he's remorseful, like a hint of remorse.
Really? Did we just guilt a man?
I would present that we investigate his abode without him present and come to a decision based on such. But honestly, wouldn't having a pet Gorgon be incredible?
Well, the maintenance is probably gonna be somewhere in between, but yeah, pretty good. It's gonna be very helpful.
Well, it might be incredible. I think I'll just stick to this pseudo dragon pet that hopefully we can unpetrify it.
Sure. That means we have to go
Oh,
into the
that's-
house.
Would any of us know if a Gorgon has the ability to unpetrify the creatures it has already petrified?
I'll say we'll carry over the. Let's see. What did Avalon roll?
I got a
19.
19.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
carry over
Avalon
the
was the one that-
19. And no, they cannot. And he'd know that.
Yeah, and then I just relay that to everyone.
Okay, but is there a way to unpetrify it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did know
There
last
is.
session. Last session, I conveyed that a greater restoration spell or something similar might do it. Also,
And I would like to convey to the party here that it seems like we would have to come back later to unpetrify these statues of people later on when we have the ability to do so and are able to.
there's also a chance that some lower level spells or items may be able to undo it depending on the strength of the Gorgon. I'm not entirely familiar. It seems Avalon's more experienced in the realm than I am. But it's at least worth considering that a simple dispel magic might accomplish the goal.
We do have someone who can probably sneak into his house to find something. I'm like just like addressing Enki basically. So Enki's our more a sneaky
have a
person.
spell. I have a spell to grant invisibility to one individual.
So if we want to go with that plan, we always go with that one too. So we have options.
Well, I think we should do one of the people who is more experienced in stealth for our investigations into his house.
Are you saying we shouldn't have a large group of robotic and mechanical individuals enter someone's home without permission?
No, because I think that would be very obvious as that would have happened.
Well, we got Enki and Needles. We have you to, so both of you can be able to enter his house for much easier than all of us.
It is worrisome to send in so few when there may be more than one Gorgon.
Sure.
Also, I'm
not sure, but maybe during the night we have one of our goblin friends go and check it out.
I would worry that that would set off his suspicion, not to mention we'll know that he'll likely be in his home during the night. We'll
Yes.
likely be left with a goblin statue rather than a goblin to return with information. But it's a possibility.
Yes.
We also don't know what the goblins can do, really, besides playing mid-level music and other things.
They're at least stealthy enough to steal regularly, but perhaps we should. Let's ask around about our other questions, and since we have several hours until sundown, and then make a decision about infiltrating his home after we have more information.
All right. So, going to continue looking at the market, or
I do have to say I have some reservations about sending in one of our members into a place where they could end up being petrified, and we
But
have
wouldn't it be
no
so
way.
narratively satisfying if tomorrow morning you all came out to find a fairy statue at the market?
I don't know. I kind of like. I don't want to leave you out of my head. You kind of like help relay information for us.
Well, like I said, let's decide based on more information after we know more about the fishing situation and if there are more disappearances. Now that we know about Sven disappearing 4 to 5 weeks ago, perhaps we can find more information. Although I would say, based on the fact that Sven was seemingly a traveling fisherman or some such traveler, perhaps he only petrifies those who are traveling in and out of town to gain less suspicion.
It seems like he's just taking people from out of town because I don't know. Because a lot of things are
Yes.
from outside this town. So
The main reason I want to investigate his home is to see if Griffin's petrified statue is there. But, like we discussed before, Griffin might have been responsible for the assassination of the author in the first place. I just feel like there's got to be something to gain there, and I
Yep.
want to pet Gorgon.
and you also need to figure out how long. This is above game. How long did we ever figure out how long that body was murdered or no?
I
Like,
don't think so.
okay.
I know if nothing else, it had to have been relatively fresh that you were able to piece together. Just
You did specifically say the blood hadn't fully coagulated, like it
Yeah.
wasn't dry blood, it was just, yeah, so it could have had to have been within the last couple of days.
I know Enki never told us or disclosed the information that he found stuff in the house still.
Though, to be fair, a paralytic could cause anticoagulation. Anyway,
yeah.
it could stop the coagulation process. Anyway,
So we
I
still
don't
have
know about magical paralysis.
so we still have
But it
Enki
wasn't magical.
who has all that information he found in the house that he hasn't disclosed to us. So I probably we still have to go back in the game. Sorry. So do we want to go to the house, right? Not the John Williams house, but the murder's house?
I think we wanted to investigate the market a bit more first, and then we can move on to the house, would be my opinion. So you said in the put in the text that Severance didn't see anything of interest regards to magic items. With a pass over with a 30-foot range of magic, detect magic, did I see anything?
No.
No. Okay, so no magical items besides the cow. That's not an item, but
Then I would like to, before we go on, I'd like to ask maybe a few other vendors in the market if they know what the prize of the fishing tournament is supposed to be. Because if we get that answer here, we don't have to go to the inn.
Yeah, go ahead and give. I'll just say a persuasion check. It's technically, I think, just like a flat charisma, but we'll say persuasion.
I'll try to offer advantage by creating an illusion of the goldenrod. I'm going to try to say, hey, we're looking for this goldenrod. Do you know anything that might be related to it? Trying to get information to lean in that direction.
Yeah, so we'll give advantage, so that's 17 plus 4. So yeah, as you guys are asking around town, and that's not like a specific conversation for the sake of time and such, we'll say it's you're perusing throughout the market, and unfortunately, as you ask around, no one seems like they are familiar with the rod. Some people, they're like, oh yeah, is that rod seems kind of familiar. You know, I think Christopher Dawkins might have had a rod like that. Maybe ask him. And otherwise, though, they're like, no, I'm not really sure about that. And in terms of specifically to a reward for the competition, most of the responses are kind of along the lines of, some years it's been gold. But actually, there was one year where it was one of his ships in a bottle that he was working on. It was actually really nice. It was very well thought. And then another time, someone's like, I got a weird crystal, I thought, but I can't remember. Could have sworn I got it, but, well, I didn't win, so
Could
never
we
mind.
talk more to that guy?
Yeah. And the guy's like,
A weird crystal. Could you describe the crystal for us?
No. I'm sorry. I
Color, shape, size.
I can't remember.
Weird.
I thought
I'm gonna immediate. Oh, go ahead.
I thought it was like a. I'm sorry. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah, when he's saying this, immediately to all my allies, there might be some more of a memory issue here in town, if I'm catching on to that. Would any of you who might be better at reading people be interested in digging into that?
I can help.
Insight check?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
insight.
get you guys to make an insight check.
Yeah.
Oh my
God!
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
Good job, guys.
But before I do want to make a joke. I'm not actually going to do this. I want to cast dementia on this person.
Funny you should mention
It's a neat
that.
spell. I need to learn that one.
Suggestion forget?
Yeah, funny you should say that. Yeah, he's definitely he has some memory issues. He's forgotten some stuff.
On that note, so detect magic would probably detect if someone was affected by modify memory. I could maybe identify, but is he affected by a magical spell when I look at him with detect magic?
Wait. Hold on.
Sorry, I guess I should have let you get to their insight checks first. But
No.
It just came to mind
Yeah.
since you were saying his memories were definitely tinkered with or
Okay.
faulty.
So I'm gonna go into these nat 20 insights first, and then I'm gonna follow
sorry
up
for
on
interrupting.
the detect magic. Because does it tell you the specific? Oh no, first the insight.
It tells me school.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
just school. So every single one of you is currently be affected by enchantment spell. Same thing with this guy. And so, but I guess,
It's a first level spell. If it wouldn't detect it, anyway, just go on to the
Yeah,
insight. Do
sorry.
the insight
Anyway,
first. You keep
insight.
getting distracted.
So I will say insight though. So okay, no. So the detect magic isn't necessarily. So we're gonna go into the insight first. With the insight, this guy has forgotten a lot. As you realize, he is thin, frail, and well, not frail, but he is thinning, and it seems like maybe he's a bit malnourished as you start to look into it more, and it seems like he is he's unwell. He's not full. He's missing a part of himself, and a large part of it. You look closer into his eyes, and at first you thought, oh, maybe he was just upset that he couldn't help out or that he couldn't remember. But there is a very dim light behind his eyes. There is not much left of a person behind these eyes.
I hold on, let's see here.
I would like to hold on to that information until we're a bit away from this person so they don't hear it.
I'm just going to, let's see. Whose shoulder is Needles on?
And I will also specify too one last detail if it is. I mean, I guess I already got the point across, but I already started this statement. It does seem as though he is wasting away both mentally and physically.
Say, because I would, if Needles is close enough, I'll just whisper that to him.
Okay, you're whispering to me about what you gleaned from the insight?
Yes.
So could I maybe retroactively, I know we're going to the detect magic potentially, but, well, to both, I guess just back to Haka, with your insight, your keen mind, would you have recognized anyone else in the town suffering from such an affliction? I'm not too keen when it comes to understanding people's emotions and such.
Do you want me to make a history check for that?
I was kind of hoping that your insight check might carry over, but yeah, whatever chef wants you to make.
Yeah, so I'm gonna slightly carry over that insight. But let's make it. Actually, you know what? We'll fully carry it over. It's the both of you as because you guys help each other out. So everyone, really quick, go into their. Oh yeah. 1 second. So we have one. I'm pretty sure this. Well, amongst you guys. So let's just check really quick here. Hey, everyone here, go ahead and go into your bio real quick. And yeah, I think everyone has at least one. So as you ask, is there anyone who's been afflicted by something similar to this? You pause. And Hawk, you and Severance, you kind of realize. Oh, but no one shared that they've forgotten a memory. So Hawk and Severance, do you have a forgotten memory? I believe everyone has at least one.
I do. I started with one.
So you guys realize that you aren't, like, you're obviously not this far, but yet you have a strange sense of kinship with this man in front of you. Almost as if this might potentially be the direction you're heading in. Admittedly, one memory is one memory, so it's hard to say. But yet,
I would like to share this revelation with the rest of the party.
So I would have whispered that back to Needles in our conversation.
Or I guess at this point we're pretty much huddling, right? Because
yeah,
Severance is also wanting to share it. I don't even know if he'd react at this point, considering he's such a husk, according to the DM.
He doesn't seem
anyway,
to
so
react.
We're huddling now?
Mm-hmm. So party huddles up.
Oh.
Was it called Slate Stone? Do any of you remember the substance on the ship that was supposed to help with memories? They said something about forgetting. It does seem, though, that we might have been undersharing how many memories we've forgotten. I'm not even sure myself.
I don't remember what the thing was called either.
I do believe it was Slatestone.
Yes, I think it was, but I'm not
Does-
sure if I'm not sure if we fully trust that it actually helps. I mean, they did want to harvest us.
Okay, so I guess this would probably be the point where the detect magic comes through. Do I see anything, or were you going to say that that doesn't
Make an Arcana
detect
roll.
this? Okay. No, I'm going to. I'm running low on DM inspiration. Nah, I'm going to hold off. That's going to be my roll.
Hard to tell.
Okay.
So it is active, but
Although-
everything looks about the same.
Yeah,
With the
detect
exception
magic
of the
not
couple
working.
things that has already
I
been.
will
Well,
try casting
out of-
identify. Oh,
Out
Go ahead.
of character, so n- the, I believe it was only one person. I don't remember exact. It was one of our Dragonborns. So but one of the Dragonborns was the one that was offered to Slatestone to help with that. Because through the conversations with those with that like pirates, I guess. One of like the Dragonborns essentially were like accepted into part of the group, so they offered someone Slatestone. I just don't remember
I believe it was
exactly.
Haka talking to the cartographer, but I don't know if they were offered Slatestone. I believe it was just brought up, but I don't remember fully either.
Yeah.
All I know is that Haka talking to the cartographer was the first place that we heard about Slatestone, because they were kept bringing up, oh yeah, I keep forgetting you guys don't remember anything.
The thing is, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if it was offered or if it was shared with the characters, like to our group.
I believe during our discussion, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, during our discussion with the captain, whose name I forget at this point, he did bring it up when we were having a conversation, and then the Kraken interrupted. Anyway,
And
but
Oh,
yeah.
I will say, if memory serves, it was initially only offered in private to the Dragonborns of the group.
I don't know if Timmel was, but definitely
Yeah,
Hawkeye, I
But
remember.
it was, yeah, if not Timmel, at the very least Hawka.
Kind of went down pretty quick once the Kraken attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause they did. I know, like not to all of us, but they did say like they were all down inside the ship that we had to go down to see it. But that wasn't to all of us, but just to Haka. I think just Haka. Who you're talking to.
Maybe. I can't remember that specifically.
I'd have to
Regardless, it's
re-listen to
probably
the
at the
session.
bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I just remember him, the navigator,
Unless we could
assuming that I
convince-
was one of them,
Mm.
whoever them are.
Right.
I assume they meant like part of the same organization. But he just went like, "You're one of us, aren't you?" And I just sort of nervously went, "Yeah."
Yeah. And then he offered Slatestone to you.
Yes, unless we could find any
don't know if
Slatestone in
I had the
town.
chance to take it though.
I don't think you
have
did.
it in my inventory.
No, because
No, he specifically said it was below decks, yeah.
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 Well, there's too many things I want to bring up, because there's also the paper that we all have in our inventory that we haven't really discussed, and now I do have the identify spell.
I mean, we also haven't discussed any of our memories to anyone. Anyone in the group.
Yes. So I could say for certain I have a couple holes in my memory, and specifically, we all know in regards to being told to find the prince, I believe we all shared with each other that at least in that facet we weren't completely certain. But I have a couple spells that might help. or at least identify the issue. Would anybody be willing to be a test subject?
Sure.
I feel perfectly fine.
Since Haka spoke up first, if I cast Identify on Haka, specifically looking for any memory-altering effects, do I get anything?
Uh,
Again, it's a first level
So,
spell, so you can just say no
yeah.
if you want.
What you get is they are being affected by an
Because if it's not a spell,
enchantment, divination, and illusion magic.
is it a spell specifically, or is that just as much as I glean?
That is. So you learn that it is not necessarily by one spell in specific, but some kind of artifact. But you know it is that type of magic, but it doesn't seem to have a spell tied to it specifically. And
Well,
who are
as
you
a
casting this
scientist-
on?
Oh, that was Haka.
With Haka, there is also some conjuration, and I already mentioned a divination. And I believe necromancy is that's a school of magic, right? Yes.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some necromancy as well.
So those are just pretty much all schools of magic, or just the ones you specifically mentioned?
Just the ones I specifically mentioned.
Okay.
So there's no evocation, really.
As a man of science, I'd like to expand the sample size, and since Avalon seemed fine with it, I will also cast Identify there.
And then for Avalon,
Mind you, all this is taking 10 minutes since it's a
Yeah.
ritual every time.
Avalon, you get illusion and enchantment. Not sure what spell
Okay.
specific.
So illusion, enchantment, and if I, would you be comfortable, Winch and Severance, if I also?
I don't see a
Investigating.
problem with it.
And Winch. All right,
Yeah, I'm
I
cool
will
with that.
investigate both of them. Is it also illusion and enchantment?
And necromancy and divination and I'm trying to remember what was the other one. It's necromancy, divination, illusion, enchantment. I think it's just those four. Yeah.
So was there any that were unique to? I think Haka. You
And
specifically said
conjuration.
one more. Conjuration. So Haka is
Yep.
affected by a different one.
Oh.
So oh,
Whatever the other one is that we can't remember was Haka, it should have been conjuration.
yeah, I believe that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yes, so we all seem to be affected by a number of things that my spell is unfortunately not proficient enough to ascertain. Being illusion, divination, enchantment, and necromancy, which is all concerning.
That wasn't for Avalon though, I will specify.
Oh, what was the different? Oh, Avalon is affected by less.
Yes.
And he was specifically enchantment and illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we're going to need a spreadsheet for this, everyone. Can I cast Identify on myself? It says you choose an object,
yeah,
or
I
if
think
you
you can.
instead touch a creature throughout the casting. Okay, I will also touch myself. That was intentional. You're welcome.
So yeah. Illusion, enchantment, and I believe conjuration. Let me just double check real quick. There's definitely one more. Let me just double check my list of options here. Yeah. Hold on, give me a second. Transmutation. There we go.
Would I, knowing my own history, or at least a decent bit of it, think that the transmutation might be because of the things I've gone through, and not because of anything else?
There's
Okay, so
yeah.
I don't.
Mhm.
I don't believe that to be related to our current situation, and is instead past stuff.
Mhm.
Would I think any of the other schools, like conjuration, would I also think that is involved, or do I not know what that's from?
Um. Yeah. Well, when I said conjuration, I was debating between conjuration and
Oh, so it's
transmutation.
transmutation, not conjuration.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'll peel back the curtain a little bit, and I will say it is related to your background. So
Okay. So I
you
know
can
that
correct
one.
me
So
on that one if you feel one would be more appropriate.
transmutation makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it does seem, with at least the five of us, that enchantment and sorry, was it divination that we all had? What were the two
Everyone
that we all
had at
had?
least enchantment and illusion.
Enchantment and illusion. So we're all affected by at least that much, and then several of us seem to have other schools of magic moderately affecting us. I can't say exactly which, but I would guess that the enchantment is affecting our memories and the illusion might be affecting our perception. Hard to say. Any thoughts?
That sounds about.
I mean, it doesn't seem that bad since nothing's really happened to us that much.
I
Well,
would argue.
nothing has happened too much to us yet.
Well,
I
yes.
I would suggest we might want to make haste on our objective so we don't end up finding out what will happen.
I would say it might be more than we're thinking, because now that I think on it, my last memory was back in the laboratory in Evergrowth, and then I remember being told to find the prince. Is that correct, Chef? That timeline of events is my last memory, and then immediately being told to find the prince?
If you have them in chronological order, yeah.
Yeah, so my 10th is my most recent memory,
Okay.
chronologically speaking, so would it just pretty much jump from that?
Yeah.
Is my number one forgotten memory? You had me put that in as just 3 question marks. I don't know if that's my most recent one chronologically.
Yeah, it's hard for you to tell
Because
because it is forgotten.
Because I don't think I put them in chronological
Yeah,
order.
there's no worry about whether or not it was chronological. That part isn't necessary. If you wanted to try to reorganize them chronologically, you could, but it doesn't matter too much.
I don't even know where I would put the forgotten one.
Yeah.
Because you never told me what that memory was.
Yeah.
I put my forgotten one in a section at the top.
Well, yeah, but the one that I
Separate from
started
the
with
rest.
forgotten is just 3 question marks.
Yeah. It's
Right.
He straight up didn't tell me what I just straight up don't know what the memory even is.
Yep.
It's not like I put forgotten next to it and I can still read what the memory was. I just don't know what the memory was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could still put in a separate section if you wanted to organize it, though.
I've just got it all the way. It was just all the way up at the top.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's where I put mine too.
I
It
just
might
put
still be
gone in
chronological.
parentheses in front of the one that I forgot.
Well, no. For reference, so like when we were creating memories, right, and like writing it in, so there was one that so we were at 9 and having trouble getting a 10th, and then I realized I was like, oh, I know what this is. Don't worry about it, and I just put 3 question marks.
Yeah.
So the player does not know. The DM does know. That being said, I could put it chronologically, but that would spoil the fun.
It would.
So yes. With that being said, so yes, you guys are discussing. You have some forgotten memories.
I would guess that the through line being enchantment and illusion makes sense with having forgotten memories. I am curious if any of you know the source of the necromantic and divination magic that you are being affected by.
I would hazard a guess that it just happens to be related to my unique magic. For me, it's I don't know for certain though.
I
Severance Winch. So, Avalon, I believe you only had enchantment and illusion,
correct.
so you probably aren't affected by any others. Perhaps being human, perhaps there's affected by less, and you use technology instead of
Straight magic.
casting spells. Yes, that might have an effect. Did Severance and Winch say anything, or did they just stay silent and not provide any more context?
I don't know how much more context I could give, other because like we all know that we've lost one memory.
I
At
was
least
specifically asking, so you were affected by, I believe it was necromancy and divination was what was listed, and I was asking if you as your character knew why those were.
I have no idea why I have necromancy, and I think divination might just be ties to the Moon Maiden, but I have no idea about necromancy.
Would that track, Chef? The divination being tied to the religious following?
Make a religion check.
For me or for Needle?
Where's my religion?
Needles, since he's or actually, you could try to reflect on it if you want.
Yeah,
but-
you should do that.
Yeah.
I will.
Should
Never
we make
mind.
an arcana or something to
Number
reflect on like where the necromancy and divination came from for me? Because I don't think my character actually knows.
Let's see.
I don't have anything about
Yeah, I'm gonna be
it from my
entirely.
core memories. I don't think I actually know what I actually am.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
just
be.
know what I present as.
So you can make an Arcana check if you want, but
Wait,
I think that's the best result
yeah,
for role play reasons. I think I'm gonna keep that result.
yeah. Oh yeah, you have.
wait.
Hey, actually, real quick, give me another memory save.
Oh, sure. That's a history check?
Uh-huh. Okay. But go ahead and move that marker up by 1.
Okay.
Cool. Uh, all right. So yeah, you
Wait,
have.
doesn't the mem save counter when you move it up by 1, it goes up by 2?
Oh, you are so right. Thank you for reminding me. I need to put that in big writing because that's like the 3rd time I've forgotten.
I just want to
put it up-
make sure
Put it
we
up
don't.
2 from my previous.
Yeah,
we
so
already
like-
moved it up 2 from the. Well, no, because remember, if
'Cause
you
I
got a
nat
nat
20.
20 on the previous, it didn't go up.
Yeah,
So move it up 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we don't have as much confusion as we did
Yes.
end of
yes.
last session.
And I'm writing it down now, right here, in bigger. I'm actually just gonna underline it 3 times.
Do we see anything take place with Haka while they're going through this memory check moment?
Yeah, you just see like 1,000-yard stare as you guys are like, so Hako, how did this affect you? Why are you being affected by the spells? And then just 1,000-yard stare.
And then afterwards, I would have suggested that it's probably due to my. And then she would pause. Unique magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested to study you a bit more if you'd be willing, but that might be a more time-consuming project.
Perhaps once we have time at camp.
So if we pull out the papers,
Mm-hmm.
so we all found in the, I think, second session, we found we had a piece of paper in our inventory, and it was blank, but it was affected with transmutation magic.
So I think I
believe is what you
said
said.
transmutation magic. But if I said transmutation magic, I was wrong. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm saying I wrongfully said it.
I could be misremembering too. So what would it be if would it be identifiable?
I believe it should be. Oh, well, okay. Transmutation kind of works. Let me just double check.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
can
actually,
I-
no. Transmutation works. Transmutation works. I was debating if it would be transmutation or abjuration, but I think transmutation actually is the spell.
Yeah, abjuration is like seals and protection, whereas transmutation changes or alters something. So it just depends on which more it leans to more.
It-
Yeah. It kind of leads to as well. Let me just double check another thing.
Were you gonna say something, Severance?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could make a perception check, to see if there's like if it seems like there's anyone in the marketplace who's like super like giga rich.
And it 100%
Does
is
this seem like-
transmutation. I just double checked that.
100% transmutation. Okay.
Just
Yep.
because I really want to know if someone in the town is the person who owes me 1,000 platinum.
Oh, that's true. You do have that.
True. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception check. You
Ooh.
look around and like William looks like he has a decent amount of money, but like probably not 1,000 platinum kind of money.
Because 1,000 platinum's like royalty of like a really booming economy kingdom. I'd assume.
yeah. Like that's a lot of moolah.
Well, to be fair, 10,000 golds.
Yeah.
Royalty probably has a bit more than that. It
Yeah.
depends on the nation. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, it's still like so it doesn't have to be royalty, but if you have that, you're pretty rich.
Yeah.
So,
So
do we know
it-
about this? You being owed?
I assume I told everyone in the party when I got
I
that.
probably wasn't listening.
I don't
I
remember.
literally wasn't there, and Needles wasn't listening.
But I don't remember if we all like told each other about the blank piece of paper in our inventories.
Oh,
I
I
don't remember if we did or not.
well, see,
Yeah.
I have a blank piece of paper, and then I also have the note.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
because
don't.
So I assume I told everyone about the note. I don't think I said anything
Yes.
about the
I
paper.
think you told us
I
about
don't
the
think I don't know what I did with my paper because I don't have paper in my inventory. It looks like.
I think Chef
maybe I
forgot
just
to add it.
oh, hold on.
Chef,
Yeah.
yeah, because on session 2, Chef said, "Yeah, I'm gonna add it," and then I think it never happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think some people were missing in session 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. It was essentially like I'm pretty sure if it was some of the people who were missing in session 2, I kind of forgot to add it. There's another
Yeah,
thing
I
too.
didn't have it. I think I was here for session 2, so it might have been session 3 because I think that's the one that I missed, or one of the
Gotcha.
couple. But yeah, one of the sessions that was missed. Anyway, now that I have the identify spell, I was going to try to cast it on the paper.
There you go. Cool. I put in Haga, you got it now. Oh, excuse me.
There we go.
Or you have
Sus
something.
paper.
But yes, so with identify, let me just scroll up. All right, so this, as you cast identify on this, it seems that this paper is affected by, as we said prior, a transmutation magic, something akin to a message spell. However, it seems like it has specific requirements. It needs a specific, almost like activation. A specific, not environment, what's the word? Conditions. It needs certain conditions for it to work. And unfortunately, the identify doesn't seem to make note of what that might be.
So would I surmise it might be like almost like a magic mouse situation? Like once a condition is fulfilled, it will give us a message,
Maybe.
or that it will
Or-
allow us to send a message.
it seems like it might potentially work both ways.
Like it'll put us in contact with someone or something if it is activated.
Sort of. It will be able to send or receive a message under certain conditions.
I convey this. If nobody is doing anything, I will immediately try to write on it.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you write on the paper? And also in the item's description, you can also write in what you're writing.
I will write new phone. Who dis? No, I will.
New paper. Who dis?
I will try to.
Oh, and since you weren't,
I
don't
will
know if
ask
you- oh, sorry.
where is the prince. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, so you're writing that.
I was going to write where is the prince.
Got it. Okay. And then put that on the object's description.
Okay, and what do I call the object? Because I didn't have one either.
Oh, well, my bad. Yeah, just write. We'll say interesting paper,
Okay.
or
I have mine as blank paper.
blank paper. That might get it mistaken for regular paper. Admittedly, I definitely wrote it in as blank paper, but hindsight being 2020, maybe we add a descriptor that makes it not seem like normal paper. I'll let you choose what descriptor you want to use for it.
I'm putting interesting.
Perfect. Or
Is there
I
any
believe
reaction
for
from the
Hawka,
paper?
I put sus paper.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so Hawka, you have sus paper. And actually, Hawka, you weren't here, I don't think, the session that they initially discovered this, maybe?
Pretty sure I've been here for every.
Oh, so you were
session?
here. Okay. Did
I
you
think.
investigate
yeah.
this paper? I'm trying to think.
I don't remember.
I can't remember either off the top of
I
my
know
head.
someone did.
Unless I was just late and came after that.
Maybe. I don't know. Brain rot, take advantage of it. Go ahead. If I forgot it, oopsie doopsies. Go ahead and make.
Investigation?
Yeah. And do it with advantage because, like, it's paper. You're pretty familiar with paper and whatnot.
Mind you-
Wow.
Double 16.
Haka was the first one to discover the paper, just as a reminder.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
While
because when
looking
when she went for
through
her cartography papers, that was when
Oh,
we
yeah, trying to
found
make a
out that
map.
we had papers. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, this is paper, and it is, I will say, just looking at it, you're like, okay, this is interesting paper. But, oh, sorry, one sec. I feel, while looking at it, you think that while writing on the paper, you might be able to get a better feel for it. So, Hawk, do you write anything on the paper?
Not at the moment.
Oh, I will say with the 16s, Hawka, you notice that your paper seems to be a little bit different than the one that everyone else has.
is it map sized?
It's not map size, just something about the texture feels different.
I would mention that mine seems different
Mm-hmm.
if we're bringing it up.
Would you mind if I investigated further?
Sure.
I will try to cast Identify to see if there are any different effects.
Yeah, so it also is like a message spell that needs to fit a specific set of requirements. However, based on this, it feels like the requirement for this paper is different than the one you have. It doesn't specify what the requirement is, just that there is one.
Haka, could you pull out a bit of canvas for your cartography?
we'll do so.
So I would like to. I have plenty of paper on myself as a researcher. I would like to
Yeah.
compare and have the Haka also compare the texture of the cartography paper to normal writing paper
Mhm.
to both of the mysterious papers and see if there's a correlation.
Is that another investigation, or are we carrying over the 16?
We can do either a collaborative investigation or a advantage investigation. Meaning,
don't
like,
mind
sorry,
either
you
way.
both roll investigations, take the average, or make a advantage roll.
You probably have a higher modifier
It's plus
on
7, yeah.
yours.
As
I've
a
only got a
Mr.
plus
Wizard
1.
Brainy Pants over here. So am I doing advantage then?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that would probably get us a higher number, yeah.
Arguably, this does seem. No, I think I'll just stick with the 13.
With the 13, as you look at the paper, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe the one that Hawk has might be a bit more brittle-ish, maybe, than regular paper. And, like, maybe the paper you have seems to be a bit more, like, firm than regular paper. It's kind of hard to tell. But admittedly, comparing the paper that you have versus the paper that it does seem like the paper that Hawka has seems more similar to his normal paper that is in his inventory. And the paper you have is more similar to the normal paper in your inventory.
So knowing this, I would feel perhaps if you drew a map on this paper, it might have an effect based on that, but I am not sure.
And you can also make a separate investigation roll if you want as well with that information.
Sure.
So,
See, sometimes +1 is better than +7.
yeah.
There you go.
Only when you roll good.
Hawka, as you think about it, all the paper that you buy is draconian paper. Given that even after the war, it's just more convenient to buy local. Or maybe you have a specific reason you try to buy local. Whereas all the paper and supplies you would have purchased, needles, would have been from Burn. So while the details of it are very minor and kind of hard to see, having experience, as both of you are almost cartographer, you're not necessarily a researcher per se, but you do kind of research.
We're
if nothing else.
scholars.
Yeah, you are scholars in your own right. And so you are very familiar with the supplies of which you use, so you're able to tell the difference between your supplies and, other supplies. But however, given that you're so used to your own supplies, it's kind of, you wouldn't think that, oh yeah, like it's easy to assume like, oh yeah, this is blank. Kind of like how like let me think. A lot of people would assume, like, if you're in the Midwest, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go to a Kroger. And you might be so used to going to Kroger that you kind of forget it's more of a Midwest thing. Or like, if you go to Florida, or if you live in Florida, you go to Publix all the time. It's one of those things where if it's readily available, you forget that it might be different elsewhere. But now that you guys are together, you're able to see that, oh, got it. So essentially, this is a long-winded explanation of saying the odd paper that Hawka has is draconian paper. Whereas the odd paper that the rest of the party here have is Burn. Or at least was from a Burn company.
Is everyone besides Hawka here from Burn?
I do believe that I am.
Believe I am too. Yes.
Winch, are you from Burn? I believe you mentioned Dr. Savori at some point, so I would assume.
I don't think so. Let me check. Where was Burn on the map? Was that on the bottom?
Oh,
I can't.
oh yeah, yeah. Here, I'll take it to the world map. This will make life easier
I
for
couldn't
you.
remember.
Whee! So we have Burn is this nation that's green. This is just a settlement of Draconia, by the way. This isn't the entirety of Draconia. And then we have Amakalia down here.
If I remember correctly, I was from the thicket.
So that's
From
down
my,
here.
yeah.
Did you spend time in Burn?
I mean,
Not
I
to
would have
my
spent
knowledge.
time in Burn too.
Most recently, I mean. Did you arrive
Recently, no.
from Burn to here? From Burn to Burn. Burn to fake Burn.
Probably not.
Most
Don't
likely
know
no.
where I would have been most recently. Because I did travel all over selling my maps.
And sorry, Winch, you said you wouldn't have been or would have been? I missed that.
No, I wouldn't have been. Not recently.
Would we know that the paper in Amakalia and Burn would be more similar to each other than the paper from Draconia, considering it's a different continent or island?
So most of the paper made in Burn is from Amakalian trees. So any paper you might see in Amakalia is probably going to be similar. Well, shit, I should have made a history roll for that. I don't know. You're a scholar. Do you still have your memories involving traveling between Burn and Amakalia?
I mean, I have a memory, a very specific one of being
Yeah. So that's enough. So that memory's kind of enough. And so sorry, 1 second. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's enough. You would know. Just give me a history check really quick. Excuse me, sorry.
My intelligence rolls are back down.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's hard to say. You didn't really look. In all honesty, how much does Amakalia use paper to begin with? So it's kind of hard to tell. But thinking on it, you're like, yeah, they don't. You're pretty sure the Great Woods is protected territory, so it would make sense that. And Burn doesn't have that many forests in its territory outside of that. So yeah, if they're gonna get wood, it's probably gonna be from Amakalia. Whereas Draconia prides itself in its ability to be its own nation and not rely on others. So they do spend the money to ship. Well, either A, some of them eventually started just taking lumber from Amakalia and claiming it was Draconian lumber. Whereas others would just use lumber shipped or just buy paper shipped from Amakalia. Or sorry, from the mainland of Draconia. Because the mainland of Draconia does have many lush forests, which they get paper from. As well as the settlement has some forests that are scarce and not on the map. But for the most part, they get their paper shipped from the Isle of Draconia.
Well, assuming I knew enough of that to convey, I will convey that to the group. Yes, it's probably just a difference of Draconia versus the rest of the continent sourcing their paper. I would guess. I'm not sure what that means as for why we were sent here with these papers or what the activation conditions are. But it's a bit of information. I would assume Timmel, if this theory is correct, has a similar paper to you, Haka.
Probably.
Did anyone want to try something with the paper? I have a few more ideas, but I don't want to ruin my paper.
If you want me to try drawing on mine, I could.
It's your paper. I won't force you, but I do think that we could glean something, perhaps.
I will try. I'll take my time to make sure it's like a good map. And I'll just draw like on part of it, maybe like a map of the at least the parts of Harbor Town that I've been around. Because I didn't go. I don't think I've been up to the upper portion up here. Because I definitely didn't go up to the cliffside.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, so you just draw that on the map, or on the paper.
Yep.
And yeah, and it's there. And then just write in just a small, like on your paper in your descriptor, right below where I put an F. Just write in a little bit of a map of Harbor Town.
That just on the inventory.
Yeah, here. Sorry, let me show you. Boop.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Right in that, just in that little mods area.
There we go.
Just go right
I wrote
below.
here for you.
All right.
So if you click on that box, it's kind of hard to see the box because there's no outline, but it's like right next to where. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
All right. And then, all right. So you wrote that in, and then that's where that is. Anything else you guys are doing?
Using my tools, I'm going to put a drop of blood on my paper.
Oh.
Where do you put the drop?
On the text that I drew.
Gotcha. So it
or
is
wrote.
Text. So a single drop isn't necessarily going to, unless you like put the drop on and like smear it on your blood on.
I'm trying to put blood on the area that is covered that I wrote text on.
Okay. Okay. So it has a little bit of trouble as you try to put the blood on, but you notice some of the words, it almost kind of erases a little bit where your blood was. It doesn't fully do it, but it kind of, you see like some of the ink kind of seems to disappear almost a little bit where your blood was.
If I continue to put slightly more blood, does it erase completely? Or is it just smear blood?
So if you put more than just like a little bit of a drop, I will say it will be like an attack roll on yourself, so you will take damage. Do you still do that?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So
At the test, yeah, am I taking 1 point of damage or something?
so let's see how much. Give me a surgeon tool roll.
Yeah. I'm telling you, these intelligence rolls.
So give me an attack roll with your scalpel.
Okay.
So you take 4 piercing damage,
Okay.
and
You think? Oh, that's
that's
yeah.
enough blood to you get a decent amount of blood. You're able to cover all of it. And yeah, as you cover all of it, it doesn't disappear right away, but then you do see like it kind of slowly starts to dissolve. As make a perception check real quick.
Oh yeah, I should be doing this. Is anybody else watching? Is anybody else watching? You
Yeah,
know?
is anyone
I
watching this
will-
go down?
I will watch him, I suppose.
Okay,
I
so
will
I'm
also watch.
anyone
bleeding all
watching
over
can
some
feel free
mysterious
to make
paper.
a yeah.
I'm playing rock paper scissors with Tara.
You just-
You guys have been talking about paper all day. I'm like, okay.
If only we had Glorb the All-Seeing.
Right.
I mean, we got Severance is doing pretty well here, and so is Haka.
You've been rolling high.
It's not a nat 20. Glorb would have gotten a nat 20.
So true.
He
though.
has been eating that
So
20
true.
every session.
Glorb almost every time he does perception is so. The all-seeing is busy making sure they're all getting jacked. You know what? He's probably playing some Smash with the one goblin.
Yeah,
With
he's-
Tibble. Yeah.
Him and the Goblin
I think it's Timmel, right?
went on a vacation to Mexico.
Oh, I thought I had his name written down. Where'd it go? Well, I'll find it later. I definitely have that name around here. Oh, I think I put it over here. Sorry, I started actually organizing my notes a little better. But in doing so, I actually made everything worse. So I'm still trying to learn my organization system. Yeah, well. Anyway, where was I before I trailed off? Ah, yes. Hawk with the 16. You notice it's kind of, it's stuff's happening. But Severance, you spot, it seems like the blood is drying up quicker than normal. Like it dries up real fast. And it almost seems like the ink disappears at the same rate of which the blood is drying off. And as you look at it, okay, hold on. I have to think about. Okay, so. So, and as it disappears, there's a brief moment, and it's hard to see because it's just kind of very faded. But you do start to see faded ink start to appear on the paper. And it just says, what?
Then I'm going to
Get back to work, idiot.
I'm going to relay all of this.
And it's like, it's so faded in certain parts, so it's hard to see.
Needles, the ink is disappearing at the same rate the blood is drying up. But I saw some faded text that just said what?
And it's like get back to work, idiot, as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the full statement. Was what?
Yeah.
Get back to work, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I see it when he pointed out, or is it
Yeah.
faded?
It's really faded, and it kind of starts to disappear as you start to notice it.
Do I get the sense that if I would have just waited, I would have got a clear response, and it was because I used my blood that it erased the incoming response? Or do I just not have enough information for that?
Give an investigation roll.
If anyone else wants to write on their paper to see if they can get a response, it does seem like this is some form of communication, potentially with the real burn. I would hope that would simplify things.
Write on one of the unfinished parts of my map, like up in the cliffs. I just didn't draw anything up where I hadn't been, so I'm just gonna write, "Do you like my map?"
All right. And Needles with a 12. Is that final answer?
Yeah, I missed a couple sessions. I'm low on DM inspiration. I've got to hold it.
All right. With a 12, I'll simply say the pieces of information that we have available here. The text started to appear as the blood started to dry. Blood started to dry faster than it might normally.
Is the paper soaked red right now, or did the blood
Nope.
sort of disappear? Okay, so it is a blank piece of paper again.
There seems to be a little bit of like, make a either surgeon's tool or like arcana roll.
Okay, those are about the same. Yeah, those are identical for me. Better.
So as you investigate, because you're very familiar with blood, you've been working
A
with
little
it
bit.
quite a lot.
Occasionally.
So you look at it, and it seems like this is blood that has had the moisture removed from it. Not just drying, but like, because you have a kind of understanding of certain biological aspects. And so you understand that like blood is more than just water, or it's more than just a thing. Like it's composed of multiple things. So there's like, now mind you, you don't have the concept of cells per se, but you understand it's made of like water and other things. So it's
So something from the blood has been taken and some of it has been left behind, is what I
And-
can surmise.
based on some of the experiments that you've done, because you've probably did a couple of experiments where you'd separate the water from the rest of the blood just to see what happened, kind of thing, or for other reasons. So this is blood without any water in it. Not just like dried, like, oh, maybe there's a little, but like specifically, if you removed, like, the water had been taken away from it, not just like it dried.
All right, conveying that to the rest of the group. My current hypothesis is that blood was unnecessary and it probably just requires water to erase the text. And it just happened to use the water from my blood. But we can experiment with that.
Just nod.
Okay.
Did anybody else write on their paper besides Haka?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't.
I did not.
Okay.
I've got both a map and
A
writing.
little note. It's like, do you like my nap?
Any response for Haka?
Did Haka didn't put anything? Oh, right, since writing stuff. No response.
Would you try water and see if that has an effect? And if not, then try blood?
Sure.
I assume we have water on us.
Where are you guys doing this? Actually, good question.
Probably.
We
we
went
haven't left
around
the mark at
talking.
all.
Where did we meet the guy that told us about the crystal and seemed like a husk? Was
Yeah,
it just
you're
in the
in
market?
town
In the
square.
marketplace.
He's
Or
still in the
marketplace.
market.
Sorry, Market Square. Yeah.
We would have just stepped off to the side, I guess, then. We kind of got absorbed in our lost memories, I think.
Yeah. And like at this point, the person kind of shuffled off.
'Cause
And-
we were just huddled in a group.
And so yeah, you're like in this huddle, and you're just like start spreading your blood on this paper and everything. So like people are keeping a little, but I don't know how much people are actually paying attention, to be entirely honest.
I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't have really seen much
Yeah.
from my perspective. It's not like there's an adult-sized human cutting themselves. It's just a fairy, right?
yeah.
So I'm pretty small. They wouldn't have seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not much.
Especially with the huddled situation, you could be
Yeah.
pretty high hidden by the bodies. So yeah, there actually is a fountain with a couple of. It's one of the fountains that has like some statues posed with the water coming out. Very
Do they look like John Williams specials?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But there is water there. So,
Yeah.
do you guys do anything?
Yeah, Haka, do you?
I
Haka,
mean,
you're the only one with stuff written on your paper left.
would think I'd have maybe a water skin in my explorer's pack that I think I would use first. Before just dunking my paper into the fountain in the middle of the
Gotcha.
square.
That's fair. And even if you didn't have a water skin, but if you have like an explorer's pack or something, I'm sure you have a water skin.
I do have explorer's pack.
Okay, I'm pretty sure there's a water skin in that. So yeah, you could like, and if there wasn't water in there from recently drinking, you could fill it with a fountain. Either way, so you pour a little bit of water,
Yeah.
and the text doesn't seem to go anywhere, but the paper does get soggy. A little bit of soggy where you poured that. And you
Okay.
do note that where the blood got, it did not get soggy whatsoever.
Okay.
On that paper, I should say.
It is different paper, so I'm worried that you might just smear blood on your paper now. Maybe just a small amount to see if it has an effect?
Maybe just over like the word Harbor Town
Mm-hmm. You just put like a little
on the
pinprick.
map.
Yep.
Yeah, just like, and then just like smear it over only the word Harbor Town over the thing just to see if it has any effect.
Yeah. It after you do that, it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Okay. Well, I'm out of ideas
Mhm.
for what
Do
could make
Winch
this do anything.
Do Winch, Severance, or Avalon want to try with their own papers?
I am okay for right now. It seems like from all the testing we've done already, getting much from it.
At the very least, I've gotten communication with somebody who doesn't respect my intellect.
It feels like there could also be a way of like watching us as well of what we're doing, from what the text said.
I would surmise that whoever asked us to find the prints probably gave us these to keep in communication, but without more information, it's hard to say for sure.
Right.
Well, if nobody else is offering to write on their paper, well, if everybody else wants to move on, we can move on and perhaps wait until nightfall to experiment more.
That's fine by me.
What's on our list of things to do right now?
The corpse and finding the prize specifically, and asking about missing people.
Right. Okay. I'd say we go to the corpse next, since that's just a one-time thing we just need to do.
We do so. I assume we can leave the market easily.
Yep.
Nobody's blocking our path.
Yep. So you guys head out.
So I guess we can move our characters. There we go.
And then as you head to the house, you notice there's a guard posted by the door, and he's kind of setting up a, like he's kind of not boarding up, but he's putting like some chains around the door, and there seems to be a sign posted. And he's like, oh, hey guys, how are you guys doing? You doing okay? How's that goblin
I
thing?
did want to ask, how close are we to,
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up after this.
okay.
Because it's getting late. And so he's like, hey, hey guys, you're looking, um, how you guys doing? You guys doing okay? You doing your whatever you guys are off to do? You guys sent me to look into this house and um gave me a lot of work, but
Are you okay?
uh, man, I'm just tired. I just had to like, would it have killed you guys to bury the body? No.
Well, we could just mess with evidence.
What? Oh. Oh man.
What did you do to the body?
I buried it. It was a dead body.
Why?
It was a dead body. I couldn't just leave a dead body in the house.
Well, we don't know how long it's been dead.
Oh. That's such a good point. Oh man. You don't think I gotta unbury it now, do you? That was so much work. No.
Did you use a casket?
A what?
Oh God.
How deep did you bury it?
I don't know. It's kind of like when you bury fish guts, you gotta dig like, I don't know, like at least 4 feet, right? Otherwise, you start smelling it.
Where?
Oh,
Where's the body?
it's just outside the house. Well, not outside. It's under the ground by the house, just right over there. And he like points, and you do see like there's an area of ground that seems to be dug up.
So let me get this straight.
Mhm.
You buried the body right next to the house that the body was in.
Uh-huh.
You didn't take it to a graveyard.
Nah, I mean we don't really have one of those.
Wouldn't it have been smarter to take it away from the house completely?
Why? He used to live here. Now he gets to stay, kind of live here in spirit, ish.
With the dead body
Uh-huh.
in your town
Uh-huh.
that people can see.
No. You can't see this dead body. It's underground.
They know there's a buried body there.
Yeah, I mean, sure, they know now there's a buried body, but like, the grass will regrow.
Did you clean the
What's
house?
your
Oh, so I'm burying bodies and look, I'm not the person selling the house, all right? Whoever's selling this house can clean it.
I'm just making sure if you didn't clean the house, because that's also evidence.
Oh, yeah, no, I knew that. That's why I didn't clean the house, for evidence.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
What's your least recent memory, friend?
My least recent, like a longest?
Yes, the furthest back.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've been a guard for as long as I can remember.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been a town guard for quite some time. Yep.
Mother, father, anything of the sort?
Yep. My dad was a town guard, and my mother was a wife of a town guard.
And that-
names?
And they are dead now. It's just me.
He was asking you about your name. Their names, though.
Yep. Their names were, Martha and John.
Is he making stuff up right now?
Go, yeah, roll insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Avalon, it does seem like fairly generic names that he gave. It doesn't seem like he's necessarily actively lying, but it doesn't seem like he's lying, but he is making shit up.
Is he probably like lying to himself that this is the truth?
So more so that it doesn't make sense to him for them to not have names, but he doesn't think they have names, so he's just giving them names.
Okay. And I kind of whispered this to the group. Well, whispered to Needles if he's close by, so he can relate this to the rest of the group.
I do so.
And then I go, well, okay, then about their name. That's great.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, they
Uh,
were. I think they did a good job. I think they did their best.
they have graves here, correct?
No,
Why not?
because they're not buried here.
No, I'm not mean buried in the house, but are they buried in the town somewhere?
No,
Really?
yeah,
I want to ask why.
because that's not where they're buried. They're not buried anywhere. They're just not here. They're gone. But
Have you had any doses of slate stone recently?
no, don't touch the stuff. Heard got I hear people in mine. Those guys, they get some crazy visions when they take that shit. Try to I'm a town guard. I got to keep a clear head.
Okay.
Visions of the past, perhaps? Things that you didn't think happened but might have happened, and it gets confusing?
No, they get like crazy hallucinations. Some of the people there. I heard a story that some guy died. Now that could just be what we're supposed to tell the kids so they don't start getting hooked on the stuff. Mind you, thankfully none of that stuff has come over here. But
Where is it though?
he like looks. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you where to do drugs. Actually, make a
I don't
persuasion
want to
roll.
do drugs. Let's say there's a ship that tries to dock here with that product here.
Oh,
Where they
that'd be terrible. There are kids here. I can't have.
exactly.
We got to do something about. Wait, are you saying you saw a ship that had a slate stone on it?
Yes.
I better look into this immediately.
Wait, you didn't let me finish my question.
Oh, sorry.
Where exactly would people be doing these drugs? Like, is there an actual town that has all this happening?
Oh, well, I couldn't tell you one way or the other. I just know that, there's some dwarfs outside of, and actually, Christopher Dawkins from the dock, turns around. He goes, "Oh, hey there. If you're looking for the good shit, you gotta go straight to the source, right over the mine. That's where you get the good stuff. I love hitting that shit with the dwarves. You see some crazy stuff. Man, tell you what, I once believed when I took that last time, I had a bunch of watches on my arm, and it was crazy. I don't understand exactly what they had to do with anything. I had all these watches, and yet no time for my family. It was actually tragic. But it helped me appreciate how things were. But then I came out of that high and remembered that I don't have a family. That family doesn't exist that I had when I was on that high. So that was kind of upsetting. But it was interesting in the moment. I recommend trying it. Don't tell people to do drugs, Christopher Dawkins. No, hey, stop being loser.
Christopher,
Sorry.
I think of the kids.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Christopher, would I be correct to surmise that no one's ever seen a monster in the forest? One that causes intense frostbite?
Oh, admittedly, I mainly travel to cities. I try to stay out of woods. And I only travel during the day. I heard it's dangerous at night.
When taking slate stone, do people happen to see creatures that others don't believe to be there, that they become frightened of, or anything similar?
Not necessarily. Mainly, they just kind of experience different lives, and they hear people. They don't normally see creatures. Sometimes they see creatures, but mainly they see other people.
does the world look different after having taken Slatestone?
Yeah, some people say it kind of seems like a whole. It takes them to a different world. They feel sometimes.
In all my allies' heads, I would guess that the illusion affecting us would probably be dissipated by the Slatestone, so the world probably isn't what it looks like currently, and I am worried that there are creatures that we may not be able to see, or may have trouble identifying if we do not have Slatestone, such as the creature from the forest. I might be jumping to conclusions.
Well, that's a good theory, though.
But anyway, hey, how's the ride going?
Unfortunately, we followed the goblins, and they seem to have misplaced it.
Deception.
Do you-
roll. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Do you know anything more about the rod? And I'm gonna summon an illusion of it and show him that. Or actually, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Because that means
I think about doing it for a second, and then I think to hold off for a second.
And so I'll kind of look at you for a moment. Ah, dang, that is unfortunate. Well, hopefully I'll still be able to win this competition even without it. But hey, I'm sure you tried your best. And
Where did you acquire
and
the rod?
and as he says, I'm sure you tried your best. He hands you 10 gold.
just the
And
Eagles, right?
10 gold?
Then he pauses for a second, and then he looks at how many people are. He's like, "Oh, sorry, that's and he gives. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 3, 5, 5, 6, 7. Gives 14. He essentially gives enough gold for everyone to get 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
Well, it's still 10, yeah. Because Terra's. Or does he give 2 to Terra?
That's true. He does give so that Terra can get 2, and then also Timmel, Enki, and make sure your friends who aren't currently here get some gold too.
I turn to Terry like, look at you, Terry. You got some money.
And Terra just kind of looks at it and just puts it in its mouth.
Terry, get that out of your mouth.
Then it just opens up, and its mouth is just like the visor, I imagine.
Yeah.
So it just opens it just spits it out.
Terry, I thought we talked about this. The money is not food. It's okay, buddy. I'll hold on to it.
It gives you the gold. You got an interesting little friend there.
He's the best.
Well, anyway, thanks for at least looking. I appreciate the attempt.
We haven't necessarily given up on the hunt, though. The goblins mentioned, and we did talk to them. They were more civilized than expected. They mentioned that the rod had some special capabilities and might have another item to pair with. And if we had or knew about the other item, it might be easier to find where they lost the rod in the forest.
Well, I don't know, but the rod does seem pretty connected to this city, I will admit. So, I did initially get this rod. It was a gift from a friend at the Red Brick Inn. Maybe check that out.
Who's this friend of yours?
He was, what? Where's their name? Why is name not next to building? I thought name was supposed to be next to building. Okay. Well, name is going to be next to building now. It was, this might fuck with things. Gregory Bins. of the Red Brick Inn.
Gregory Dins.
Gregory Bins. That's the guy. That's always been the name of the guy who owns the Red Brick Inn. Any other name, he's not the right one. You're mishearing it. You must have misheard if you think it's a different name.
So it's not the Red Birch Tavern, not the
Nope.
Red Birch Inn.
Red Brick Inn. That's what it's always been. It never once referred as anything else.
Oh, we're gonna check that guy out.
It's like, I'm gonna go back to pensively staring at the ocean. And it just turns
That
away.
can't be good for your health, Christopher.
Don't tell me what to do, Mom.
I will tell you what to do, whatever I want to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Christopher, stand up for yourself.
No, I can't really stop you. If you decided to get violent, I mean, that god might try to stop you. I'd probably die.
To be perfectly frank, I don't think the guard would try to stop us. They seem quite
He really doesn't like his job.
The guard's like, I'm right here, man.
Who's the one who buried the body?
Me.
Yes,
My arms. Yeah, it means I'm a big, strong man.
but you didn't do your job right, did you?
It's just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to there's a crime scene in there. Don't mess with it. And then he just leaves.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Oh god.
Wait, was that the guard who we called that he was called the Lovely Prince?
Called what?
Called him the Prince at the very first second session. Like we were talking about to the guard and
Oh,
Beatles
Oh
apparently
no.
called him the Prince.
Yeah. No. This is a different one. There's like 3
Okay.
guards here. This is one you haven't met yet.
It'd be funny if we accidentally insulted the guy we called a Prince.
No. That's a different one. He is working that guy's post, so that might be why you thought it was him, but it's a different guy.
Yeah.
They switch posts every once in a while. And is there anything else? I think we're gonna go ahead and call session because it is getting pretty late. But is there anything else anyone wanted to do before we call it? All right. And we didn't actually do a long rest this session, so no need to worry about those shenanigans. And I'm going to go ahead and really quick. Oh yeah, I can do a Le Raid because I do have a couple people watching. So those who are watching, thank you for joining. Catch the VODs on YouTube for if you want to watch, get an idea of what's going on. I recommend watching them in fast forward because it's fun and I don't like sitting around, but it's fun hearing talking fast. Or, watch it at regular speed. That's, do what you want to do. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and raid John Joseph. Let's raid him. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Let's. Why can't I just? Yeah, following. Quick filters. Following. Oh wow, that's so much easier. Anyway, boop. All right, I did it. I clicked it. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the stream.